Welcome back to another episode of the Otter Players Podcast, where this week we're going to get into Nintendo being denied one of their favorite patents, the Xbox revenue fall, Satya Nadella and company claiming TikTok is their main competition, and also our impressions and reviews for Ghost of Yote. But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump right into it, see what everybody's been playing, and we'll jump into these topics. Weeb, how are you, man, and what have you been playing?
I'm good. Yeah, we've been playing plenty. I finished Ninja Gaiden 4
Okay, okay.
Congrats.
last week. Thank you. Yeah, it was freaking awesome. I definitely recommend it for anybody who likes Ninja Gaiden, but particularly if you like Platinum Games, because it's pretty much a Platinum Games game. It was the most fun I've ever had with Ninja Gaiden game, and that says a lot because
Oh
it
wow.
yeah, I mean it is it makes all the difference if you have I mean I'm not saying that they're the Ninja Gaiden guys are uh, um, normally bad at their job, but Platinum Games is leagues ahead of anybody else in the character action genre, and it shows. Um, you know, gameplay absolutely tight, combined with the sort of the bloodiness of Ninja Gaiden. You can dismember enemies, brutally destroy them. Enemies have like desperation attacks if they're uh, if you cut off their legs or their arms and they try to do like a suicide attack or something like that. So you have to be almost strategic in the sense like, okay, you see somebody crawling towards you, yeah, finish that guy off because he's going to do something crazy. Um, but yeah, I mean, absolutely a blast. Like I think I was pretty much finished like last week, and I thought, oh, I still have to do like like 4 or 5 chapters. But you like the last part, you actually finally get to play as Ryu Hayabusa, but they're incredibly short. It's kind of like with Devil May Cry 4 where you play the last part as Dante, though while considerably shorter than that. Um, and actually, I kind of, despite the fact that I saw reviewers complaining about Yakumo being sort of like an edge lord, which is probably what you get if you played it in the dub, but like I actually, I think he's a better character than Ryu, which is not saying much because Ryu is sort of like uh, doesn't have much of a personality, which I guess kind of is supposed to be sort of this stoic elite ninja who's saving the world. Or I guess technically he never did because Yakuma is the only one who actually can defeat the you know the black dragon.
Yeah.
Um, which ironically makes him the actually the yeah, better than Ryu in that sense. But yeah, I mean it's actually overall like an incredibly fun experience. Right balance between challenging and fun. Has some incredibly cool boss fights, and I mean, compared to the other Ninja Gaiden stories, like the story actually is pretty decent this time around. Like at least I cared for these characters. It made sense, while I at least remember with two, whichever like play the remake of this year as well. Like there was barely anything to the story. Like there, it was all just subservient to the action. And here it's like, yeah, okay, the action is the most important thing, but at least the story makes sense. So plus the soundtrack was amazing. Like it's pretty much like the I think the same guy that did Metal Gear Rising, so you can kind of yeah, you can know what you can expect with this game. So yeah, lots of fun. Um, and yeah, other than that, I did try that game that you mentioned last week, Nate. Was Ball X Hole or
Oh, Ball X Pit.
something like
Yeah.
that? Ball X Pit, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. See, even is that simple, I don't remember.
Yeah, I trust me, I get
uh,
it.
yeah, I tried it on Game Pass. It was okay. Like, it's not a game where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna invest like a shit ton of money, a shit
Yeah.
ton of time in it. But I get the appeal. Like, and then I got what you said. Like, it's sort of pinball, or I know,
Mm-hmm.
breakout, or whatever. However you wanna compare it with some sort of base building. It took me a while to figure out. Okay, I have to basically build all my farms, vertically, because my farmer just runs straight through them all. Uh,
Yeah.
so, but yeah, I mean, I tried it for a bit, didn't play that long because yeah, there was other stuff to do. Played a bit more of Donkey Kong Bonanza. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm like probably halfway through now, and it kind of depends on how much you want to do, because yeah, you can go through the next level, but there's still a shit ton of bananas that you have to collect in every world. But yeah, I'm sort of playing this on and off on the go, if I'm not feeling playing anything else, or if I'm want to play something on a handheld, then I'm just you know switching to that. It's easy to just pick up and then put on again, because you're not really losing any muscle memory or anything like that. Um, Also played a bit more of Visions of Mana, which I
Okay.
hope I find the time to finish this year, because it is still yeah, I mean, I like the series, but it's quite a good story. Like, there it definitely um y despite its appearance, or sort of the character design, art design,
Mm-hmm.
it's quite dark. It feels like there gonna be some twists and turns there that are gonna probably, I don't know, tear your heart out. But I'll have to continue playing that. And of course, I've also started with Dispatch. I could not resist the temptation. I did initially said that I want to wait until all was done, but yeah, I figured, I don't know. I'm not gonna wait. I'll just try it, start it, and yeah, I'll have
FOMO
to
is
wait.
hella drugs, yeah?
Sorry, yeah.
FOMO is a hella drug.
Yeah, in a way, it was I was kind of because I was planning to first finish Eric's Home before Dispatch, because I ordered the physical edition, but it got delayed like for a month. So I'm like, okay, I can play finish other games that I was playing, but
Yeah.
like, okay, then I'm just gonna do Dispatch. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's every bit as yeah, it's great as I expected to be. I mean, I played the demo, so that does give you a very good impression of how well written the game is and what sort of gameplay loop is. And yeah, it was yeah, it's basically the game, and yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I love the characters, the voice acting, the writing. Um, and yeah, it even aside from it's, of course, a Telltale game. It is an interactive story, but the gameplay loop is also quite fun. You have to send your heroes yeah, dispatch them, because you're a dispatcher, to missions. You have to figure out which character best suits that mission. You have to there like so many things you consider. You have to consider their stats. There's synergies between certain characters. Like, I'm now in the part where everybody is sabotaging each other, because they're basically all former supervillains. Um, so that's also like you're constantly sort of micromanaging them, and trying to figure out which character you have to send where. Yeah, there's already the demo. Like it's so hilarious that you have a guy who's like a fire superhero, but he's also posted an arsonist, so he also starts his own fires. So that's you gotta they're pretty much creating more problems than they're solving half the time. Um, But yeah, I mean that's why it's so funny.
Man, if
And yeah, I mean, like I
if
said,
belligerence was a crime, Jesus.
yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, and I love what's his name, um, the Black Einstein.
Oh yeah, that guy is great.
It's
Chase, I
fucking
think his name is
hilarious.
Chase. Yeah,
Chase, yeah,
yeah,
Chase,
Chase is
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. I love it when he's when they're when he's trying when they're heckling Robert and he then steps in and he uh, behave, you motherfuckers, like this is being recorded.
For quality
He's
assurance
going all
purposes.
yeah, he's going all full
As soon as they
Samuel
said
L.
it was gonna
Jackson
be
on him.
Jeffrey Wright, I knew they were gonna go crazy with the writing for him.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean that's absolutely. I think you said it last time. Like it's a testament to to good writing. I mean that these actors are able to put in such a performance, without
Mm-hmm.
I mean Jeffrey is probably used to it because he was also in The Last of Us Part Two, um, but yeah, I mean, it's not unusual for famous actors to not really be that good at voice acting, and
Yep.
they're showing they are very capable of doing it. But also, in general, like if you have good writing, like if that then the rest shows itself. You can get great performances from people if you actually have decent writing. Like you can have the best actors in the world, and if you're writing a shit, then they will deliver phone in performances. It doesn't matter if you how many Oscars you have. You're gonna make you turn shit to gold, right? And this is a perfect example of how you do it well. Yeah, I mean, I generally like love these sort of interactive stories because they're if they're well written, because it's like you're either watching a well written movie or show, but you can make choices. There are interactive elements to it, which sort of enhances the I guess what you feel for these characters, because you know that you made those choices. You're kind of putting them in there, in as far as as there are, I guess, fair. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm start episode 3, so I still have to finish that, and then 4, and then I guess the wait will begin again for the next
Mm-hmm.
episode. And
Episodes, funny enough, episode 3 and 4 are even better. Like you're gonna love it.
yeah, I mean, it is only that's sort of the only thing why I wanted to wait, is because I kind of want to know what sort of the consequences are of all my choices, but I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. I mean, if I don't like it, like they're not that long that you have to
Mm-hmm.
spend, I don't know, 50 hours to get back to that point in the story. So yeah, I mean, you have to play them multiple times anyway, I think, to get all the trophies. So yeah, I mean, it's fine. If I don't like it, I can always go back. I mean, I was more concerned with sort of how you like build your characters. Like your heroes get stat points based on yeah, by just using them, because they get experience. And yeah, we talked about before the show. Like I'm always like, okay, should I now be should I just round them out, or should I just specialize and just boost their strong points, or should I save the points when I need them? So that's kind of where I'm like, okay, yeah, you can kind of I don't know, like if they're gonna like punish you in the end, like in the last episode, where like, oh fuck, I should have specialized or should have rounded them out. But whatever. I'm just gonna go with my gut here and just continue playing with it. So yeah, it's too fun to just wait until everything is finished. Just play it. Make make your choice, stick with it, and hope it turns out for the best, I guess. So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Cool. Sounds good to me. All good games. Morgan, how are you, ma'am, and what have you been playing?
Well, luckily this week I don't have that crazy long list that I had the other week, but but yeah, really haven't been gaming too much because I've just been so freaking busy with work and so tired when I got home that I would just literally pass out. But I did make time for Dispatch. Like when those new episodes dropped, I was like, yeah, I can't wait, right? So definitely been playing Dispatch. Finished the episodes they dropped this week, episode 3 and 4. Amazing episodes. Definitely some bigger choices to be made. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil what those choices are, but just know I made 2 different save spots because I'm like, nah, I ain't. I'm gonna see what happens in both of these paths because I refuse to just choose one and just to see what happens. Like, nah, I got 2 save slots now, so that's how Morgan will be playing it. I'll be playing it like simultaneously with these 2 spots. But yeah, I absolutely love the game. It's fantastic. Like for me, like I knew Dispatch was obviously going to be good. Obviously, it was like a lot of ex Telltale people and other studios that I enjoy got together and they were gonna make something because Telltale is just in limbo right now. Like again, like I said last week, they're supposed to be working on Wolf Among Us 2, but we really haven't heard anything about that game since like 2022. So I don't know what's happening with that. I think that'll probably get canceled. But they funny enough, they even had a little Wolf Among Us little like not a teaser, but like just like a little shout out to the game in one of the little questions that you do in the mini game, and it just made me so sad. I was like, oh, like they were just doing like, yeah, there's that game that we kind of helped, we were kind of working on, and we're not doing it anymore. And I was just like, yeah, there goes that game. But yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. There's a bunch of different choices in episode 3 and 4 that kind of had me scratching my head where I was like, man, I don't really know what to do. But I enjoy games like that. I mean, if you got me caught up in a decision, that means the writing was very good, and I'm you know, if you have me weighing my options, then that means you presented some very good options. So yeah, it only got better for the 3, like I said earlier, for episode 3 and 4. I was impressed with episode 1 and 2, and I think a lot of people were um a little hesitant because a lot of the main actors, like the people in the uh portraying the kind of villains in this game, are a lot of them are streamers and content creators. And I can
Mhm.
understand people being wary about that because obviously, like, these aren't necessarily professional voice actors. Besides, I think Alana, she's been in quite a few voice acting positions by now. But a lot of them are just content creators and streamers. So, people were like, I don't know if they're gonna be able to do voice acting well. And it could come off as cheesy. Like we've definitely heard streamers, you know, get voice acting positions that just do not sound that good. But I think they all actually doing a great job. I can't think of like one of the cast that are like holding anybody back. Like episode 3 and 4, they do a lot more talking. Episode 1 and 2, they kind of did some talking, but it was more like introduction, and it was more Aaron Paul, doing a lot of the voice acting work. But 3 and 4, a lot of the other supporting characters start, getting into the conversation, and they all do a really good job, surprisingly. So shout out to them because I was a little bit worried that even if you have great writing, terrible voice acting can bring down any kind of performance. But they did a good.
Mhm.
They did a really good job. Um, especially Jacksepticeye with his role as the little dude, the little Irish dude. He did a really good job with him. Um, but yeah, I highly recommend Dispatch. Great game. If you like the Telltale style games, please support this dev. I think they've said that they've sold like very well, like I think 5-6 million or something so far. But yeah, I want them to stick around. Unlike Telltale, who had to be revived from the dead because people unfortunately were just watching other people stream the game and not actually buying it. So that's why Telltale is so popular, because other people we're playing the game while people just watch streamers play it, right? Instead of
Yeah.
actually supporting and buying it and playing it themselves. So I need people to not do that this time. Like
Yeah,
actually
I
buy the
100%
game, support
recommend
it.
playing it. Not, I wouldn't watch somebody else play
Yes.
this game.
Yeah. Like I get it, it's very story heavy. It's very, just decision making. There's no action. So, it's an easy kind of streamable game to just watch somebody play, but it's so fun. The writing is so good and there's really some great decisions to be made that, you probably get upset if somebody's gonna pick something that, you wouldn't do. Right. So I would recommend experiencing it yourself, playing it yourself because it's a fantastic game. And I think they have 2 more weeks. So there's episodes 5 and 6 come out next Wednesday, and then the Wednesday after that are the last 2 episodes of 7 and 8. So hopefully this game does very well because I would love a second dispatch, but apparently the team after they finish dispatch, they're working with the people who helped publish this game, Critical Role, to make a D&D game. And I was just like, ugh. Okay, I mean, that's fine, I guess, but, like, after you help them do that, can we get another dispatch, please? Like, I would love that. Or, just make another type of, Telltale style game. I'll take either or. Um, because this is great. You can tell there's a lot of passion behind this project. There's a lot of love in this project. Like just the amount of attention to detail. Like the art direction's fantastic. Like I said, the cast fantastic, writing fantastic. I really have no complaints other than the fact that the episodes are so damn short, man. I just want I just wish they were longer, especially when you're waiting a week for an episode, for 2 episodes, and the episodes really are only like each episode's like maybe an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
So, you'll finish both episodes in like 2.5 hours or whatever. And they're great, but it's just like, damn, it was so short. Like I want more. And that's really the only negative I have is that I just kind of wish that they were longer. But I mean, it's not like they're missing anything in quality. So maybe they're just long enough as they should be. But that's just the selfish gamer in me. I just want more. But yeah, I can't recommend Dispatch enough. Fantastic game. And keeping in the style of that, I've been going like I said, I've been in that kind of telltale mode. So I've also been playing As Dusk Falls. And I'm on episode 3 of that. It's getting good. Like I said, I left off where we were in a hostage situation and it seems the sheriff is sort of corrupt. Like he's not really trying to help me. He's trying to help himself because the people who robbed his house took the money from his safe and also like a black book. And he doesn't disclose what's in this little black book. But anytime there's a game or a movie where there's a little black book involved, it's never anything good in the little black book, right? It's always like some secrets, some dirty secrets, or some safe combinations, or uh bank account numbers, something just, crazy is always in a little black book. And so he's kind of forcing me. He's essentially told me in the hostage negotiation situation where I'm playing the husband of the family that's caught in. So there's the husband, there's the daughter, and his wife and his father that are all in there. And based on the choices that you make, certain people may exit or stay in the hostage situation. But again, I'm trying to get my family out. And he basically told me, if you want to get out, you got to get the black book because if not, people are going to get hurt. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean, bro? I am the innocent bystander in the situation. You should be helping me get out regardless. But he's like, nah, you got to find the black book or you're not getting out. So that's where I'm caught up right now. I'm very interested to see exactly what the hell is in this book and if I'm gonna make it. Because based on me and the choices I make, probably everybody's gonna end up dead. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you.
Okay, that was funny.
Whenever I have these type of games, like especially like games like like that, like Until Dawn and shit, when any kind of game where I'm trying to get people out of a situation, I end up killing everybody. Like I swear I'm making the right decisions, like, okay, yeah, let's take the right path, or let's jump, or oh yeah, grab the bat. And it's always the wrong decision and somebody ends up dying. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna kill this entire family, but we'll see. We'll see what we'll see what happens. Hopefully not. But I am enjoying the story thus far. I know it got rated pretty. I don't want to say it was terrible. I think it was like 72, 73. So far it's pretty higher than that for me right now. Maybe the writing kind of takes a nosedive later on. Like I said, I'm only on episode like 3, and I think there's 6 or 7 episodes. So maybe the writing kind of falls off, but so far it's really good. Like it's like a strong 8 to me. But yeah, those are the 2 games that I'm kind of focusing on right now. And November for me looks pretty light outside of Karen, the mountain climbing game that comes out. I think November 8th, I think. So I'll have plenty of time to catch up on this and then, focus on my backlog until Octopath in December. Yay. But yeah, that's all I've been playing.
A bit of a breather, eh?
Yep.
I mean,
I
kinda.
hope I might get you at some point to play AI to some of your files, Morgan.
Wait, say the name again?
AI to some of your files. Yeah,
Okay.
if you want to like those kind of point and click, adventure games.
Okay, I'll take your recommendation.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I've seen it. I know I'm not that it's more so like from what I've seen, like the way they present the context, like I just haven't really been into them. But yeah, everybody I know that like is into the AI games, like they love them. So let's see, Omar, how are you, sir, and what have you been playing?
Oh, it's got a demo. I feel like Omar right now.
Okay,
Demo?
So I started the Revenge of the
You don't. You do
Revenge
of
of the
the.
Journey.
Okay.
Yeah, I
there you
forgot
go.
the name. I legit blank on the name. Basically, it's a sequel to Journey to the Savage Planet. This one is called Revenge of the Savage Planet. And real talk, this is going to be one of my goatees. The way the game went from first person to third person, I was so surprised by that.
We're gonna
And that,
okay. So hold on before you continue, Morgan. We are going to look up this game after the podcast is over.
Oh, wait, I'm not even looking at YouTube. Hold on.
No,
What?
not right now. After the podcast is over, we're gonna look up this game that Omar said is part of his Game of the Year nominees for him personally, so you can see the game that he's talking about.
The Revenge of the Savage Planet?
Yeah.
That we talking about?
Yeah.
I think I've seen it.
so I'm not allowed to enjoy a game?
Oh, man. You better get him started now.
Nobody said that. I said we are going to look it up so Morgan can see the game. But yeah, go ahead.
I have a large variety of Game of the Year nominations. So this one I'm enjoying it. The
Okay.
humor is there. The voice acting is on point. I like my sidekick. Is sarcasm, humor is all there. The gameplay is where the meat and potato is. I just love how they went from first person to third person. I just can't gush enough about that. But yeah,
Tony.
that's what I'm saying right now. I'm about to finish it, so. What about you? What have you been playing in it?
I think he assumed that you were going longer than that. You spent only like 30 seconds describing the game.
I'm only playing one game, so.
Oh, damn. Okay, Omar usually got 10 things to talk about. That's interesting. Okay.
And I'm not gonna spoil it for other people if they wanna play it, so. But really, play the game. Again, this year have been phenomenal when it comes to variety of games.
Yeah, it's been pretty good, which is why I always scratch my head when people say there's nothing to play.
You know, though they don't game.
This commercial break has been brought to you by Red Bull.
I'm not to mention it.
Okay, let us guess. I know you already know what he's playing, but let us guess what Dinesh is going to be playing. We all know he's going to be
Oh, I
playing
forgot to
Dispatch.
say, yeah, we were also playing Power Wash Simulator. I actually had to physically force him to get off the game. We were on it till like 5 o'clock in the morning,
Power
and
Wash, but you're the one that made him addicted, got him addicted to Power Wash.
okay,
So,
but I also have a job, so and he has a job too, so we have to get off the game.
okay,
But
yeah.
he was on it like we were like, done with, we finished a map, we cleaned up one section of a map, and I was like, okay, so yeah, we're gonna call it, right? He's like, hold on, let me just see what's going on with the next one. I'm like, oh my god, this man.
I did
So he gets to the
quit when we
next
got to the
one.
barn.
Yeah, but you were like, wait, let me finish cleaning this floor section first. I was like, yo, this. He was like, he was like, wait, just
This
let me
man
clean
is
this. Let me
addicted.
clean this one square. Let me clean. Like,
This
bro,
man is addicted. He can't put it down.
he could not. I was laughing because I was just like, this man it's impossible to get him off. Once we get on the game, it's just that's all we're doing for the rest of the night. It's hilarious.
I had my new
I mean,
professional
that's a
grade
good
power
thing to
washer.
have, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's a good
we
thing
did
to have.
upgrade our tools, and that's why we got like the professional grade power wash nozzle. So yeah, the dirt was just coming off like, like butter.
Absolutely.
It was great.
But yeah, like I said, besides that, like both of them, I'm playing Dispatch, and it is ridiculous. I have taken a insane amount of screenshots.
Oh,
The
shit, dude.
art for this game is next level. Like, they knocked it out the park. It's like playing an anime, and when you see part of if you have the deluxe edition, you get some of the extra stuff, and I'm so glad that we did, because they talk about some of the art designs and reasons they design certain things. And one of the things that the lead actually mentioned was that they talked about playing a Western style anime, um, with hints of the city, when you see the city kind of giving you like a Neo Tokyo vibe, and they nailed it. It blew me away. I couldn't take screenshots fast enough. Like, I was trying to just capture multiple moments.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's insane.
I'm gonna have to delete some stuff because I swear, like, I think I've taken more for this than I have for Ghost. Like, I've been like screenshotting so much that I've been getting so many
Damn.
video clips for this.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. I'm gonna have to delete some stuff because I think my media gallery is a little full right now. But yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. It's insane. It's actually, I always play, especially these type of games with like subtitles, but I actually avoided turning them on just because I didn't want the subtitles on the screen at a point when I wanted to take a screenshot. So
That's
like,
real.
yeah, so that's like next level crazy of how beautiful this game is. They really just absolutely killed it, man. So, some of this stuff is just breathtaking. I mean, again, probably helps if you're playing on an OLED. We all are. So there's that. But yeah, the colors, the way the colors pop, everything. And like they spoke about the humor, the writing. Like, honestly, it's just a breath of fresh air. As you know, I'm a big proponent of someone who was just like disappointed with the level of writing in the majority of games over the last couple of years. I just felt like what most gamers consider like a great story. Like, I've heard some people say certain games are like a great story, and I'm like, I play it and I'm like, that is like the most average, basic, serviceable story I've ever seen. And then something will come along and it's phenomenal, and then they're just like, whatever. So it's just like, really, a lot of people just struggle with being able to tell something really good. But like, the writing in this is just really, really great. The cast really seem like they feed off of each other, and you know, bring that same energy to each other when they're in the scenes. It just feels like a group of people in a room just going at each other, and it's great. But yeah, like you said, the Power Wash Simulator. I don't know, I've been all over the place lately. I have still been playing the Ball X Pit here and there. when I can. But yeah, the focus is definitely on Dispatch. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna go for the Platinum in Ghost. Like I said, I did finish it because we're gonna have our review. Um, but I just don't know if I feel like really going back and cleaning up everything. Um, it doesn't
Damn,
seem.
how much do you have? It's not that difficult.
I had over
Well,
50%. So yeah, that's what I had. Um, it's not about it being difficult. I'm busy. like,
yeah, it is time consuming if you haven't done a lot of stuff. Yeah.
yeah, like I have other stuff to play that I want to complete before the end of the year because I'm trying to complete a certain amount of games before the end of the year. And I have a lot of stuff where I'm like near the end or other stuff that like needs to take priority now that I beat the game. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've been playing so many things. Oh, and then I'm still playing Killing Floor 3. It got a major update. It got the rearmament update. Um, they still have a lot to work on with this game. Uh, I I don't know if the team is just not big enough or kind of what's going on. This update was great. Like, it's not to say that some of the updates weren't good. They did a great job with the rearmament update. As far as like the new weapons, they actually did the decoupling, which is that is where your skills or your perks are no longer tied to the character you select. Again, I don't know why they ever thought that was a good idea. People literally yelled at them the moment they said that they were doing that. That just for instance, Killing Floor 1 and 2 were not like that. So I don't know what possessed them to think that people were going to like that bullshit. I imagine it was a monetization choice, which again, we have gotten into multiple times in discussions on the show where we talk about when you focus on designing something for monetization, you often make a choice in the game from a design perspective that upsets your players or that doesn't make any sense. Because the same way that anybody who's played or seen the other games, Overwatch, Apex Legends, so on, to play a specific character to get their skill set, it's tied to that character. So they sell something specific to that character, and it's like, well, I want a skin for this character, and I want a skin for that character, as opposed to like you might stick to one character. They want you to, if you like a bunch of classes, they want you to buy something for all the classes, and you may not switch the character. So that seems like I said, like a weird monetization choice. Thankfully, they relented because they got demolished in their thread regarding that. So they ultimately made the right decisions, but the game definitely they need to drop a couple more maps. They need to. There's quite a few things they need to do. The toggle for the sprint still doesn't work, so like you have to hold the sprint button down in order to sprint still. So yeah, like there's little stuff, and then there's other bigger like crashes and other stuff that they still need to fix. The game is still in a very playable state. I mean, I'm having a ton of fun with it. Like I said, the armament update gave us a lot to do, but just like a more design cosmetic standpoint, feels funny to say that, but like they, talked about this whole thing with kind of like their battle passes, which are way better. I'd have to take forever to explain how they work, but basically they never go away, so you can always get them and stuff like that. But they've only had one since the game has dropped. Most people have maxed it out by now. The cosmetics for the characters have just been rotating, and I'm just like, man, just have a concept artist, like just create a bunch of cool looking stuff and pick some stuff and drop it in the game. Like I don't understand the issue with like they seem to be having trouble creating enough content to keep up with the demand. And I don't know what it is, but they definitely seem like they need people to specifically focus on cosmetics and people to specifically focus on the game. So fixing mechanical issues or crashes and things of that nature. Um, so again, I'm not sure if the studio just got smaller or what have you, but again, another fix for some of this stuff. Like I said, the maps, release a map creator. The community for Killing Floor is huge. Tons and tons of people have created custom maps for Killing Floor 1 and 2 over the years. So hopefully they kind of relent on some of this stuff and give some agency or control to some of some of the more creative people in the community, so we can have some more levels and other things to play through. But yeah, so far, like I said, the rearmament update was a step in the right direction. So hopefully, a lot more to come from that team, and uh, you know, see a lot more from them. So I'm excited for it. But yeah, I think that's most of it. I'm sure there's like 50 other games I'm playing, but until I like finish them or like really get deep into them, like it's not going to be crazy. I am still continuing Digimon Time Strangers, which again is fire. That is definitely my surprise of the year. I had no idea that that game was going to come out and hit like that. And shout out to them for supporting. Crazy to see a Japanese role playing game support ultra wide and 144 hertz on PC, even in their demo. I still can't get over that. Just to give you guys a for instance, one of my frustrations recently with Microsoft is their lack of consistency and standardization between their releases. So the Keeper came out and it looks good, but the Keeper does not support ultra wide, which is weird to me because again, Microsoft or Xbox as a studio set releases all their titles on PC. And I don't understand how at this point they don't have a standardized checklist for things that need to be supported on PC, ultra wide being one of them. So I thought that was like a weird thing. Um, but yeah, I think that's probably it. But I don't know. There's a million games I'm playing right now. Like a lot of people in the community just trying to frantically get through some of these titles. Thankfully, like Morgan said, um, November doesn't really seem to be hot. Like there's nothing really. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta play that. Um, so there is that. Um, and then obviously going into, I think there's still something else that I am interested in still playing Karen, like she mentioned. So that's definitely gonna sneak up on me. I think there's one more title, maybe sometime in December. I think something got pushed to December, and I don't remember what it was. That I was still looking forward to. Um, but yeah, and then 2026 is already looking ridiculous. So yeah, I'm pick, choose, and refuse on that one. But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump into the topics and jump right into it. Um, but yeah, so first thing, we will go into, so in this was kind of a funny one. Well, not funny for Xbox guys, but everybody kind of saw the Satya interview that happened recently, where he spoke about AI and their push for AI, and he had a couple choice comments about when it came to the gaming division, Microsoft gaming, as it was stated at some points, where he stated that basically for them the most successful or like major area for them was basically the gaming PC, right? So that was like another telling thing about their potential direction internally, because he's normally not out in front of the cameras, but they also stated that things like TikTok are their most their biggest competitor, not PlayStation and Nintendo, which is obviously there's some grounds to that in some things, but again, that hasn't, anyone who knows or who has been a gamer as long as most of us have, you've always done that. Gaming is always versus every other entertainment. Like that hasn't changed. That's not like a new concept. But to state that that's like your biggest isn't particularly the case, because like obviously everyone who's on TikTok is not a gamer, right? Microsoft, again, we've spoken about this at length, to some degree, about Microsoft's misconception that if you put gaming on more devices, that you're guaranteed more people to play. Like it's watching TV or things of that nature. And it's like, that's not the case, because like, I mean, you could put, Xbox on your phone and all these other places, and my mom is not going to play it. My mom will watch Netflix on her phone though, or wherever she is or whatnot. And people do those things. Or, you pull up TikTok in between meetings at work, or, YouTube shorts, and like you consume different content in different environments, even as a gamer, right? I've spoken multiple times where people are just like, oh, I love on the go. People talk about it with the Switch. People talk about it with the Steam Deck. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not lugging around a Steam Deck to bust out in my, doctor's office while I wait for my name to be called. Like, that's just weird. And I'm also not about to play a game that is a major AAA title via touchscreen on my phone again while I wait for my name to be called. I'm just going to read the news or something gaming, or read some manga, maybe watch a YouTube short, whatever have you, right? Or listen to an audiobook. Like, there's a bunch of different things and reasons why you do what you do in different environments, right? But when you sit, as opposed to when you sit down in front of your television, you get ready to game, or in front of your PC and your monitors that's 144 hertz and OLED and has all these things set in a specific way. And I think they just have a real misconception about the direction and what that's going to achieve with that mission statement. It's kind of nice to think about, but again, I think we joked about it not too long ago, but Morgan likes YouTube Shorts all the time. We joke about it all the time. Morgan's always sending me YouTube Shorts or telling me about one or something, but Morgan plays more games than most of the dudes on Twitter that we come across, right? And it's like, but she sets that time aside specifically for that, but it also doesn't stop her from, watching the YouTube Shorts or doing whatever, or scrolling Twitter. So I think they just have a weird thing where they're misunderstanding that there's some way to yank people away from TikTok or Netflix or all these other forms of entertainment, because they're misunderstanding the idea about when people do these things, and they believe there's something they can do to entice people to spend more time gaming in more places. And I just think that's wrong. Morgan, what do you think about this? This whole initiative and them versus TikTok?
Yeah, it's just about time priority. Like, I've also finished like 12 books in the past 3 months on Audible. It's just about using your time wisely, and like when you have time to do certain things, then do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole thing with this TikTok, like I said last week when Matt Booty said the similar statement, and now Satya is kind of mirroring it to kind of, I guess, reiterate that is how Xbox and the Microsoft gaming company feel. But I understand where they're coming from. They're saying that this new generation, Gen Z, their priority now is their source of entertainment are things like TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and things like that, right? That's where they see entertainment. Where our generation, our entertainment was more towards either something outside of the home or gaming, something like that. But with the fact that this generation is born with the technology that exists today, where computers are essentially in your hand, right, with phones and things like that, and you get things of instant gratification and dopamine hits from things like TikTok, right? That you don't really need to look outside of that. But like you said, the problem is a lot of people who use TikTok, it ranges from, all ages, right? It's not just kids, right? And all those people aren't gamers, right? Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
like they're acting like everybody who watches TikTok is a potential consumer and a potential gamer, which is not true, right? Every hobby is not for everybody. And then another factor that I think is very important, that I don't know if they're just not focusing on it, or if that they think that's not an issue. Their priority is, or their way to kind of compete against TikTok is, that's why they're doing everything is an Xbox, right? Xbox on every screen. So Xbox on your phone, your TV, tablet, on the go, anywhere there's a screen is an Xbox, essentially. That's kind of the motto, right? And that's kind of why they're saying that TikTok is competition, because they're trying to act like TikTok, where you can access it anywhere. But another thing about TikTok or YouTube that is a big factor of why it's so popular is the fact that it's free, right? You don't need a subscription to enjoy TikTok. You don't need a subscription to enjoy YouTube or Instagram or anything like that, right? It's free to access for everyone who has, an internet capable device, right? You can just go right on it, scroll. There's no need to buy. There's nothing you have to buy. Sure, there are things that you can buy. There's a TikTok store and things like that, but nothing is required and no purchase is required for you to get into TikTok, right? And the thing with Xbox is if you want to have everything as a screen for Xbox, you have to, pay in the subscription, which is Game Pass, right? And now that Game Pass is, fairly expensive, I mean, I understand that they've put cloud on every subscription tier now. So, you don't have to pay for Ultimate, but that's really where they want you, right? They want you on Ultimate because the lower tiers, the cloud access is not even as good, right? It's like only like 720p and who knows what kind of like server they're putting you on the lower end, right? Where you're not probably getting the best server ping and things like that to get on to xCloud.
You
So
also
it's
have
just
to wait longer to get on it, so you're not a
yeah, it's a longer
priority.
wait time too.
Yep.
Exactly. So basically you're in the lower priority rung if you subscribe to the lower tiers of Game Pass. So it's just I don't I like I said, I understand what they're trying to say. Like this generation, the generation they care about, because they don't care about our generation anymore, right? We're hooked. We're already in the ecosystem. We're already contributing and buying games. They already have us. They don't care about us. We're not the big priority anymore. It's the younger generation that they want, the new potential fishes that they want to get into their ecosystem. Um, and they think that in order to grab the attention of these gamers that they have to compete with what's grabbing their attention, which is TikTok. But again, I don't think there's not it's not these are two different forms of media. You can't you're trying to compete with something that, like I said, is free and also has a wide variety of different content, things from like funny reels to cooking to jokes to informative videos. Like I don't really understand how you think gaming is going to compete with that. It's not even the same thing. And the way Satya worded in that interview, because I was like going over it and listening to it very carefully. And it's just the way he words it
Mhm.
makes me think that he's trying to mold Game Pass in a way that can mimic TikTok. And that kind of when he said that, like, I was like, what does that mean? Like what type of games are you trying to make to, grab the attention of, the TikTok addicted youth to bring into your ecosystem? Like, what kind of dribble are you
Mhm.
like what kind of dribble are you about to fund to that you think is going to be competitive against something like a TikTok? Because I think that's what people aren't focusing on. They're too busy focusing on like the buzzwords of, oh, he's trying to compete with TikTok. Ha 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 ha. I'm like, no, y'all need to focus on what he's saying, because he's saying that he wants gaming to be the new thing, to be the new addiction, to be the thing that grabs people. And I'm just like, okay, you're already making, semi kind of blockbustery-esque games, and you would think, okay, those are the kind of games that he's talking about. But no, that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about something else. And I'm a little worried about what exactly he means by that. And I think that is why that kind of coincides with the 30% market margin profit margin that Amy Hood was, basically demanding from essentially all of Microsoft and specifically Xbox to meet. Because I think that I was talking about to this with a Nate a couple of days ago. I think that this just means that a lot of the creative games are going to go away, right? They're no longer going to be funding any type of like, a Pentiment style situation, a Hi-Fi Rush situation, a South of Midnight situation. Like those type of games are gonna go away. And it's really only gonna be like the surefire bets, right? The big IPs like the CODs, the Fallouts, the Halos, the Gears, Forzas, right? Like the things that are money makers, regardless of, how good or bad they are. The too big to fail IPs is what, people call them. And it's like anything creative, anything different, anything not proven is going to be under a lot more scrutiny to get past the to get that green check from Microsoft that yeah, you can go ahead and make this. Like, I think it's going to be nothing but like surefire bets from Xbox moving forward. And I think that's kind of where Satya is kind of reiterating that we're we're going to make this monotonous slop that we think is going to bring in gamers. We think is going to entice people to come in, the kind of addictive baiting live service games that'll get you kind of hooked. And that's all you play. That's all you do. You spend your money there, and that's all that you ever play. I think that's kind of what he's saying
they
that
want
he
you trapped.
wants for the future of Xbox. They want to trap you into the ecosystem, and I'm just like,
So here's a
like
fun
that
one.
does not.
Because you
Yeah.
nailed this without it. I didn't want to ruin your take, right? Because I wanted to see where you were going with it, and you brought it up in a different way, which is why I'm glad I didn't say anything. But you know who makes those types of games already, right? MiHoYo, Genshin Impact, all those things. They create a game that lives where? On your cell phone, on your PlayStation, on your PC, everywhere you are. This game is there, ready to present you with cosmetics to buy. But, they cut that barrier to entry with that free to play and then charge you piecemeal every little thing extra that you want. And now you started speaking about, again, the thing that people weren't going into, which is what is going to change in Xbox that hasn't changed already, right? People are talking about what's now, but like you said, what else is going to change to help them reach that 30%? Because what they've made that change now isn't going to reach it, right? So like you started saying, so what games are you going to start doing?
Right. And if we remember back in 2022, 2023, I can't remember exactly what year it was, but remember when Phil Spencer came out and said, it doesn't matter what we do, Starfield could be a 10 and people still won't gravitate towards Xbox. And people were like kind of like backfiring him, like, what are you trying to say? Like you just not going to go in and make like a good game. You don't think a good game is going to bring people into the ecosystem? And it's just like, I think they're just kind of like done trying to make that blockbuster hit. I think they're just going to make games that they think are going to bait people into the system and get them caught into Game Pass, because that's what you want out of us. Any subscription service, whether it's Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Game Pass, whatever, right? The point of a subscription is to get something in there to get you hooked to that. Even if you don't like 90% of the content in there, there's just that one thing that gets you caught in where you just won't you just won't unsubscribe, right? You're like, I mean, there's not really anything on it right now, but I can't let go of Netflix right now. I know it's going to come around, something's going to come up where it's going to be something I want to watch on there. It's just,
even though Stranger Things isn't always there, there's something there. Yeah.
There's something there. And I think that's what Xbox is kind of, and Microsoft, I should say, is that's kind of the new slogan of Microsoft gaming. Like we just want something to get you caught into our net where you just won't, you won't get away anymore. I think they're done doing like the big budget blockbuster style games that kind of Sony does. Cause like Phil said, we can make a 10 and it won't move the needle for us. I feel like that was an excuse he just made because he feels like, whatever Xbox does, we just get shit on. I'm just like, no, y'all just don't really try that hard, to be honest.
Facts.
But yeah, I just think Xbox is kind of done with doing that. And I think probably 2026 will probably be the last year they do that with like the Fables. And like I said, I don't know if State of Decay 3 is going to make it. We haven't heard anything for a long time. The studio's been really quiet. And I think, with the 30%, with what Satya is saying, there are going to be a lot of cuts. There are going to be a lot of cuts at studios. There's going to be a lot more cancellations because they have to, they got to get as close to this margin as they can. And I know we're not talking about this right now, but with the financials that we just saw, it's not looking too good.
No, I mean,
everything's down.
You can run into
besides content and services.
The financials plus the 30% tells the story that you're telling right now. What are they realistically gonna do to hit those?
They
goals?
have to do something. Because if 2025 was, arguably in, I guess, in the context of Xbox, was their best year and their numbers are still this low, you have to think realistically, what is it that they can do, right? If you feel like you've, put out 20 plus games and they were pretty damn good, and they were all on Game Pass, and oh, we did the best we've ever done as far as like content, and your numbers come back and they're still not hitting. I mean, what, like, realistically, I'm like asking, like, what else would you be able to do? You'd just be like, well, shit, we did what we're supposed to do. We released games, a lot of them, released them on the service. We made Game Pass at least in some way look like it has some value. Like, hey, you subscribe, you get all these games day one, and our profit margins are still not looking good. So what are we going to do? Well, we got to cut, because that's the only thing you can do at that point. We got to make cuts. We have to do some layoffs. We see some games that have been taking too long in the pipeline and we're not seeing any progress on it. So we're going to have to start canceling games, and we're just going to have to focus on our big money makers, the ones, our guaranteed successes. Like, I think kind of that's the pipeline that Xbox is going to be doing. I mean, I don't personally want that. Obviously, as a gamer, I want as many creative games as possible, right? Like, y'all know me, I play any and every damn thing from single A to triple A. Like, I want it all, right? I would love another Pentiment, because I'm one of the few people that actually really like Pentiment, and I honestly, if Josh Sawyer, if you ever hear this, I would love another Pentiment from you, please God. But I don't think Xbox is gonna really fund that for Obsidian anymore. I think they're kind of.
I think to what you said, it's on point though, and I think the scary thing is, again, another point that Logic brought up is that Forza Horizon 6 may be the last time you get a full-fledged product that way, because what tends to happen when they start doing the thing that you're saying, right? They start taking those big franchises, those guaranteed sellers, and then they start piecing them up. For how much money can we really get out of the consumer before they flinch? You know what I'm saying? Can we start to?
DLC that.
I mean, not even just DLC, but like Forza Horizon 7. Let's say they go the MiHoYo route. It's free, quote unquote, right? But it's gacha based.
Oh, that's gonna be so terrible.
The new Lamborghini just came out.
Played Genshin and
get it in the drop.
Get it in the drop.
Yeah.
Exactly. Play the new Forza on your phone.
You need to wait for a specific day to get a specific upgrade, to try to get a specific upgrade. That shit you would drop it so quick.
I mean,
now, obviously,
no for me, but
obviously we don't know anything. This is all, like, I don't want people thinking, these are ponies going in. This is just pure speculation. I just fear that Xbox is just going down this path of like least resistance. They clearly, like they said, they don't consider PlayStation a competition anymore. So they're not going to.
It's not
compete.
baseless. It's not baseless though, because we've seen what EA has done with FIFA over the years, basically concentrating on Ultimate Team, and card pulls and all this stuff. And then what'd they do when they saw it worked on that, or Madden and Ultimate Team and all that stuff, right? What they started doing, they started trying to do it to other franchises they had. They tried to do it to Command and Conquer Generals too, and it got canceled because people hated it so much in beta. They tried to make it a free-to-play game and piece it up. They're like, oh, Command and Conquer is another successful title. So let's see, can we screw those people over? It didn't work. So what'd they do? They canceled it. Just like you said. When it doesn't work, they cancel it. So I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, Satya reiterated that, he kept reiterating that, that they're the biggest, Microsoft is the biggest gaming publisher now, right? With Activision under their wing. And they're really focusing on, this, the way he kept emphasizing it, unless, they're really focusing on the publishing hand of the business. Like they're no longer really thinking about being a hardware manufacturer. I mean, he didn't even mention Xbox once during this. It's a gaming interview, and they own gaming hardware, and he didn't mention Xbox one time, right? He was literally just talking about them gaming and gaming everywhere and blah blah blah. And I get that's their their new marketing push is gaming everywhere, but at least mention the damn brand that you own, the damn business division that's heading the gaming, right? But again, this makes me again believe that it's more of a Microsoft gaming situation now. It's no longer Xbox gaming, it's Microsoft. Microsoft is the business hand behind Xbox now. And I just don't see I just don't see a future where Xbox is really in a creative situation anymore. I think they're more of, like you said, like an EA or a Ubisoft where it's just copy and paste. Because what do all the big publishers do, right? They have their key franchises that they just pump out every year, every other year. And that's what they do. Ubisoft, you got Assassin's Creed, you got Far Cry, and like remember how they tried to bring back Prince of Persia and things like that, and then the sales weren't doing good, so they're just like, oh fuck it, we'll just kind of sell off the little IPs that we don't use anymore. Remember that they had the whole thing where they were selling off IPs that weren't being utilized, right? With Ubisoft, and they said they were now focusing on the big three, right? Warner Brothers did the same thing where they were doing, okay, we have to cut off the little small IPs that we own, and we're gonna just focus on DC, Hogwarts Legacy, and I forgot the other one, but it was like Mortal Kombat or something like that, right? It was like it was the big three, right? Now WB owns a lot of property, but they trimmed all the fat, quote unquote fat, that isn't really selling for them, and now they're just focusing on the money sellers. Like I said, Ubisoft did the same thing. They had this whole announcement where we're just going to be focusing on Far Cry and Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed and this and this and that, and we're going to sell off all these little IPs that everybody loves, and but they're not selling, right? EA is doing the same thing, right? Old boy who made oh crap, Dead Space. He tried to come back and say, "Oh, hey, I know I want to make after remake." He was like, "Can we work on like Dead Space 4?" And they were like, "No." Like they're like all of these big publishers are crunching down on anything that they don't consider a full money maker anymore, right? It doesn't matter if it's but it did pretty good for it. It sold like $1 million or $2 million on the budget it had. That did pretty good. They don't want pretty good anymore.
Nope.
They want sure thing money makers that are gonna raise profit margins, not just be like oh well, it didn't dip it. They don't want, that's not good enough anymore. They want their shareholders happy. They want numbers continuously rising year over year, and so anything deemed creative or risk, they're not doing. They want risk averse projects, and so that's why we've just been seeing all these big publishers just cutting all the IPs that we all loved and saying, no, we're going to focus on 3 or 4 that are guaranteed successes for us, and those are what we're focusing our money on. And so that's why I fear that Xbox is, from what Satya said, is going to fall into that trap of every other big publisher out here, every other third party big publisher that trims the fat and only focuses on those IPs that are guaranteed successes, guaranteed sales every year, the CODs, the Halos, the Gears or whatever. And anything outside of that is going to be hard scrutinized. It's going to be going over. And it's like, if they look at the sheet, and if the money sheet and the projections aren't good for this game, then they're just going to be like, no, we're not funding that. It's no, another project. You want to work on the Slide Surface game instead though? How about this? How about you jump on the other team? How about you go over there and help the coalition work on that though, or go over here and help 343 on this other project. How about you do that? That's kind of the fear I have for what's going on at Xbox. But then you got Xbox people talking about, but you don't want Xbox gone because PlayStation needs competition. But I'm like, but they don't even consider themselves competition with PlayStation. So what are you talking about?
Yep.
It's just a lot of conflating arguments over here, because I'm like, at one point y'all are saying PlayStation isn't the competition, but then at the other hand y'all are like, well, they shouldn't leave because PlayStation needs competition. Which one is it? Like, I don't know. I mean, and then you got Satya at the Activision hearing talking about, let us compete. You want us to compete? Let us compete. And then it's like, bro, you didn't even bother competing. You got the shit, and then we're like, okay, we're not competing anymore, guys. Let's capitulate, and let's just focus on being a publisher. Like that's kind of what happened. It's a very interesting story, and it'll be very interesting to see the history books on what happened with Xbox, in like 5 years or so. But yeah, I mean, that's my rant on it.
No, that was great. No, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, because some people think nothing's going to change. They think this is the answer. They think where Xbox is right now, this is the answer, and that's it.
No, I don't think they think that. I think it's just cope. They just don't want to, they don't want to say what they really feel, because, once you say it, it's real. You just gotta cope.
Yeah, I was like, when I was listening to Crossfire, they kept stating, like, oh, well, you think Halo releasing on PlayStation isn't going to sell? It's going to sell. I was like, but we're acting like it's going to sell 100 million copies or something. Like it's going to rescue the whole division because they started selling games on PlayStation. Like PlayStation players have been out here waiting the entire time to play Halo. Like no one's saying it's not going to sell something, but like, why are we acting like it's going to save the entirety of the Xbox division and get these 30% margins? Like, it's super weird.
But even that, basically, they admit that they need PlayStation to survive.
Also funny. Yeah, but like you said, yeah, they're admitting that, now all of a sudden that they needed it to survive and all these other things going on. Like, it's getting weird. And like Morgan said, I think it's just cope, and like some of these people just don't know what's gonna happen, so they're saying whatever they think sounds best to them based on how they game now. But I don't know. What are you thinking, man? How are you feeling about the TikTok generation of the Xbox versus TikTok generation of Xbox? How are they going to manage this and mitigate this fall in their revenue?
Didn't I see a tweet about them working with TikTok?
Oh
Honestly,
man,
wouldn't surprise me.
that's the plan. That's the plan. They're gonna get in there and put Xbox in front of you on TikTok.
Yeah, I guess that's their MO, there are competitors. Oh, let's put all our games on their platform.
Xbox is now on TikTok. Oh man. Okay, I see it. The Trojan horse.
That might actually work,
right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's so ridiculous that it's almost predictable. Like when initially, oh yeah, no, we're Sony and Nintendo are another competitors. It's Google and Amazon. Oh yeah, look how that turned out.
Mm-hmm.
Google pulled back from Stadia completely, like gave everybody the money back. That's how bad it was. And Amazon now with their announcement that they're basically massively scaling back on their gaming division. Like, I mean, not that you would even notice. I mean, what the hell have they been doing so far?
True.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look, this like feels like this is just Satya, with a hand up their asses and just him talking. Yeah. I mean, Amazon and Google are their main competitors in terms of Microsoft. Amazon, AWS. That makes sense, but does it have to do with Xbox? And that kind of always feels like they're just considering it as sort of an afterthought. Like it's not, which is strange in considering how much money they invested in the Xbox. But it's just like interesting enough. Like the more money they spend on it, the less important it has become, right? Because they're they're now nothing really matters. Nothing is really sacred anymore. Everything goes everywhere. I mean, they're at this point like they don't not even care about the whole gaming aspects of it. Like, oh yeah, no, we need to compete with TikTok videos. We need to compete with anything that. I mean, I sort of get the sort of broader implication of that. Like, okay, yeah, in general, you need to compete with time, right? People spend their time and stuff, but it's it's really strange to just argue that, oh yeah, yeah, we need to compete with social media. We need to compete with TikTok videos, whatever, because that's what the kids are playing, right, or doing or watching, and that's why we need to be like them. But that's kind of how they see that. Like, instead of, oh, we need to make great games to draw away the attention, that they're gonna be on TikTok or YouTube, whatever. No, what they're gonna do is they're gonna make their shit more like like a TikTok video. It's gonna be less content, more of it. That's a buzzword. They're gonna just treat it as content instead of making a
Mm-hmm.
game, making a good game, making if you're lucky, something that can be considered art, and they're just gonna commodify it to the nth degree. It's gonna be like that. That's sort of, I guess, their aim. To make Game Pass basically something where you just have, like, okay, you're spending 5 minutes on a game, move on, which is ironically kind of how a lot of people use Game Pass. Yeah, and move on to the next one, and just keep on the content coming. It doesn't matter if it's good. Uh, uh, Preferably, it shouldn't cost much, because yeah, you're competing with TikTok. Where you're competing with somebody who can buy a dollar store cam and just make a video in 5 minutes time, and you're trying to compete with that by making $1 million games. It it's so ass backwards. And I mean, I also listened to Rap's podcast earlier today, where and Logic made a great point there. Is um, you know gaming, the way your brain reacts to playing games is, and I've said this before as well, like, it's very different from watching somebody playing game and actually playing the game yourself, because you're experiencing things that you will not experience even if you're doing the exact same thing as somebody is playing in their YouTube video. You're
Yeah.
feeling this, you're experiencing this, your mind interpret this in a completely different way than if you're just passively watching this. So no, they're not equivalent. They're only on a very general level. Like I said, is it's time that's spent, but they're not equivalent. They're not satisfying a similar need. They're not giving you a similar experience, because it's completely different. So they're and it's crazy, sort of. Yes, sure, if we've all had when we're wasting time on Twitter, and spending, and you always have that. Everybody had that when they're like arguing with somebody for an hour on Twitter, and thinking, what the hell am I doing? Like, I could have played a game, watched a movie, whatever. Sure, that's the extent of it. It's time that you could have spent otherwise. But it's not like you're gonna choose between, oh, I'm gonna spend today on TikTok or YouTube or on Twitter instead of playing a
Exactly.
game. Like, I want to play a game, right? Like, yeah, I said the only consideration you would have is that, okay, yeah, maybe sometimes you spend a bit too much time at it, and you start later playing your game or whatever. But that's about it. Like, it's not going to replace it in any meaningful way. I would not be able to enjoy myself in the same way if I just watched TikTok all day instead of playing games. It's crazy, but this is typical of a company that's has never really figured it out, The closest they got was in the 360 generation when they actually were competing, and now they're like they completely lost the plot, and they're scrambling, and instead of trying to make it work, they're trying to reshape reality to fit their failing narrative, right? That they're not doing what they're supposed to do, and say, okay, yeah, it's not us that's failing, it's the industry has changed, the market has changed, like people's interests have changed, like, oh no, we're everything makes sense, we're just we're just trying to compete with what actually is our competitor. We failed to compete with Sony. Oh yeah, no, but we're not really competing with Sony. Like that's how they work. That's how they're trying to spin this. And yeah, I mean, nobody's falling for this. Like, I mean, even the diehard Xbox must have had like deep down belief like this is bullshit. There's no way that you can with a straight face believe that this is the way the industry is going, the way that that this is there's any modicum of truth in this. It's just it's desperation. That this reeks of desperation. Like you're trying to somehow make sense of things, and you're trying to justify this to your shareholders, I guess, because that seems to be what they're more concerned with than actually their consumers. And look, I'm not making any illusions. Like, yes, in the end, they're all concerned with the shareholders, but at least they're pretending to to care about your needs, and they're like Sony and Nintendo is at least delivering on that front. And look, I'm not begrudging sort of the studios that are working under Microsoft, under the Xbox games division. Like they're still studios working on great games that hopefully when they come out at some point will delight us with great quality games. But yeah, they have I mean, it's going to be very disheartening when you're working on a game like you're working on Fable, and you hear the CEO of your company and of your division just saying, yeah, we're not really trying to compete with with other games. We're trying to compete with TikTok. Like they're trying to make a game that's going to rival the best in the industry. They're trying to make they're trying to compete with Sony or with Nintendo or with third-party publishers. Like I can imagine a Fable the developers want to make a game that rivals The Witcher, which I'm it's not gonna happen, but at least they're of course it's a lofty goal to have. Like you want to be the best or at least get close to the best in the industry. Um,
Hmm.
and when you hear that, like, it's going to be so demotivating. Like, why the hell are we even trying? If this is sort of yeah, if the the guy in charge of your company or even your division is basically just downplaying all your effort, because in the end what they want to make is something that is on the attention span level of a TikTok video. you know yeah, I mean, I can imagine it's very disheartening. Like I said, I don't begrudge those studios, those developers who are working there, and hearing this kind of sort of bullshit, CEO corporate speak. Like, you know, they're talking the talk, but they're not really walking the walk. Like it feels more and more that they're just treating it as something that's not important to them, that's sort of irrelevant to them. They're taking it for granted, like they had something, they could have got created something so amazing, and they just wasted it. They just wasted it on trying to redefine, like with the Xbox One, TV, trying to make it a multimedia box instead of a gaming console. and now they completely lost the plot. Like, yeah, no, we're competing with anything but games. It's so, yeah, sort of bizarre world, really, that you're. I mean, again, like I get why they're saying it, but it's just so weird hearing it. And having to and probably the most bizarre thing is that there are people still trying to sort of defend this and argue that this makes sense. Like I mean, it is testing, I guess, their spin doctor skills to be able to somehow try to sell this to your audience, if you're like an influencer, that this somehow makes sense, that they're right, yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, combining this with their earnings, it's a very telltale sign, pun intended, uh, that they're yeah, that they don't know what they're doing, and that, the chicken comes home to roost. Like, yeah, no surprises there. I mean, you're essentially diluting whatever brand recognition you had. You with your this is an Xbox, everything is an Xbox, but the console, you're putting your IP everywhere. And yes, yeah, you're those games are selling. I mean, I'd say kudos to the PlayStation audience to put their money where their mouth is. That they're say, hey, see, if you put your games not on a server directly, but just sell them, people will buy them. Um, and I guess it's a sign that there is an audience for your games. That these games would have been way more successful if you just didn't put them day and date in your subscription service and train your consumers to not buy games. And yeah, it's so, like, hindsight is everything, but like we've been saying this, like everybody has been saying this, that this is the consequence, this is what's going to happen. And they're just this is suck around and find out on like on a corporate level, like they're just trying shit. They're buying publishers and hoping that this turns things around, but everything's just making things worse. It's just accelerating the inevitable that Xbox is going to be, a third-party publisher. I mean, we know, with their bullshit where oh yeah, hybrid console, it's going to play all your Xbox games. Yeah, they said literally the same thing with the ROG Ally, which turns out to be untrue because it's just a mobile or handheld PC. It just plays your Play Anywhere titles, the PC version of that. And their next Xbox is inevitably going to be a PC with probably an Xbox sticker on it, and that's sort of the end, I guess, because then there is no longer a new next generation console. It's only a matter of waiting until everybody moves away from their old consoles, and then it's done. Then there's just PC and nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's a sad thing to see, but on the other hand, like at this point, I'm like, yeah, put them out of their misery. Yeah, just pull the plug and accept what you are. Move on, and if somebody else wants to step in, cool. If not, like I'm confident enough that the industry is matured enough at this point that we'll live. We'll survive. I mean, we have been surviving without basically Xbox competing so far. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna matter if they really officially step out of the game.
Exactly. So I've been saying, like, what competition?
Yep. No, agreed.
Yep.
Um, Omar, how are you feeling about are you excited about the TikTok direction, the battle of Xbox versus TikTok, and that this drop in their revenue that they believe, I guess, that this switch is going to correct for them.
So first of all, I love how we got now an admission that they need PlayStation to survive. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, welcome to TikTok
Survive
thing.
together,
Welcome to the whole TikTok thing. Look, I'm gonna start with the conspiracy theory. Basically, I believe Phil Spencer is out. He's gonna be gone. I believe this route is not what he ever wanted. I believe Sarah Bond is now in control, together with Satya and what's her name, Amy Roth. That's number one. Number two, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm absolutely going to be wrong with this one. Um, what if you are so afraid of TikTok? Why didn't you just buy TikTok?
I mean, they could. They
If,
they could. They couldn't. They tried though.
why couldn't they?
They bidded, but they didn't win. Like they got outbid.
Oh, so they got outbid, but that dude that is from Israeli Ofcom. Okay.
Yeah, it's a combination of like investors they got beat out by that
Mm-hmm.
ended up bidding for TikTok. But yeah, it's only the U.S. portion of TikTok that they're
Mm-hmm.
even getting. So it's like it's not like
Yep.
it's gonna stop or anything or it's gonna change anything. I mean, don't get me wrong. Microsoft's typical mo is buy the thing and let it die,
Yeah.
so that we win. But yeah, I don't think that would work for them in this
Mixer.
case. In this case,
I will never forgive them for the fucking Nokia, dude.
yeah, that too. That happened. Uh, I mean, what was it? Skype. They bought Skype and just let it die. Like,
Skype.
yeah,
They
that's
dropped.
what
They
they do.
killed them, and then okay. So now going back to gaming. Look, this whole thing about TikTok, dude. I'm with Morgan. I'm a huge, not TikTok, but YouTube
pickup
short
fan.
fan. I'm not per se addicted, but like the skit, the it easy to consume. It's so quick to consume, and you can literally be lost hours. No, skip, scratch that days. No, scratch that years. I'm not exaggerating. Like you can literally be watching skits. I've been watching skits of about a D&D, and I literally been watching for 2 hours straight. Like it's that addicted. If that person has that much content, yeah, I'm gonna consume it. But here is the but. That's just 2 hours that I could have easily put into what gaming, and then what? At least with gaming don't stop. This 2 hours, um, I'm gonna use it to watch TikTok or rather watch YouTube Shorts, but I'm gonna go back to gaming or anime or even my phone. Like, what are you gonna say? We need to compete with mobile phones? We need to compete with anime? Do you see how
No,
ridiculous?
Omar mobile phone is an Xbox. Did you know?
Scratch this idiot, but do you guys see how stupid this sounds?
Yep.
Like, if you don't want to compete, just admit it so we find someone that do want to compete. Because believe you me, I don't want PlayStation to be the only, what you call it, publisher in here. Because they're gonna have the whole playground to themselves. And you know what they say? You give them an inch, they take your fucking planet. Not even a mile, they take the planet. So it is frustrating. This is literally the Gen Z version of TV, and it's coming from none other the fucking head of Microsoft. So that's how you know Xbox is cooked. They are so cooked, it's beyond belief. Like I wasn't on the whole bandwagon. Like I don't see Xbox releasing another console, I would absolutely now not be surprised if the next console for Xbox is just going to be a PC. Yeah, they're saying it's going to be hybrid, but the way he's talking, the way he's admitting that Xbox he didn't say Xbox doesn't generate money, but Microsoft Morgan said it. He didn't even mention Xbox, not even once, but he did talk about PC Game Pass. So yeah, Xbox dude are cooked. At this point, they're gonna migrate to PC and call it a day. And we sadly have seen the last Xbox. So the frustrating part is, where did it go so wrong? Like, PlayStation, like, Sony doesn't have Microsoft money.
Well, that was the mistake a lot of Xbox guys made, is thinking that
Like,
the money was the solution when it never was.
Yep.
like I still and get it, and we are talking about that what we didn't talk about. At least I haven't heard anybody mention, and maybe you guys mentioned it, but bad hearing. Um, the morale that this is going to cause to the what you call it, Xbox Studios, but developers. Like, if I am an Xbox developer, a studio developer, I'm updating my resume and I'm looking for a way out.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't generate any form of stability when all they're doing is cutting people left and right.
Like, the last thing I need is one to kill my creativity, and number two is to be in a company that doesn't even have the passion for it anymore. Like, you guys know how it is. I don't know if you guys know how it is, but we have story about how the relationship is not working. Someone is checked out of a relationship a year before the divorce happened. This is literally Xbox, at least Satya right now. He's checked out. He is like, when you say you see this uh, another publisher that is kicking our ass. Yeah, we don't want to. We are not. We don't see them as competition. Excuse fucking me. Who do you see as competition? Nintendo? Oh no, 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 Nintendo. We don't see as competition. Oh, this uh, app called TikTok. That people use not for gaming, but for sharing content that you can consume on your mobile, on your TV, or just in at in the bathroom. Oh yeah, we're competing. We see them as competition. We care about you guys make use of our time, but if you put out amazing game, people are gonna buy it. Well, not if it's in Game Pass, they're gonna play it. Like Ninja Gaiden. People been raving about it. That content, at least 30 hours plus content, that 30-hour plus content is gonna take my mind away from any anime, any YouTube short, any Twitter, anything. I'm just gaming. Like, how are these people so out of touch with reality? And they are the head of their studio. I'm talking about Amy Hood with that 30% margin, and now with this dude. And it's not like he's some unknown person. This is literally the CEO of Microsoft, has built trillion gazillion dollar company. Oh my god, dude, this is so frustrating on so many levels. Cause again, I'm a PlayStation dude. I play PlayStation game, but at the end of the day, I'm a gamer. I want everyone to bring their A games. I don't want PlayStation to be the only console uh, on the market. And let's give it a buck. What he is doing is what Nintendo did. We can't compete with PlayStation. They just eviscerated us. We're just gonna go a different route now. And yeah, for the people that say PlayStation is copying Nintendo, companies copy each other all the time. That's the reality. But what you don't see Nintendo doing is creating games on the level of PlayStation when it comes to visuals, when it comes to what we call it, technology. Yeah, you see them create phenomenal platformers and games like that, but like their and yet their game sells, but it's a brand that sells. When one game outperform, and I'm not talking about sales, because Pokemon destroyed Digimon and it's not even funny. However, I have seen shit ton of Pokemon content where people are complaining about NPC saying some of the wildest things, and the design for Pokemon is so atrocious. And then you compare it to Digimon, and people are raving about it. Yet Pokemon outsold Digimon because of the brand name. So yeah, I went out of topic, but Microsoft, Phil Spencer, dude, what happened? You lost control. I truly believe he is no longer in control.
I mean, that happened the
I
moment they
don't
purchased
think
ABK. Maybe it was over.
I I he purchased ABK and I think Activision as well. But afterward, I think he pitched Activision to be purchased. I don't think he knew the Pandora box that he was opening by asking Satya to purchase ABK.
Yeah, I mean, they overpaid by a lot
And
on top of
that
that, so.
I mean, I think the whole
when
ABK thing was a catch 22. Like they
so
were gonna go down. They really had no choice. But it was also it was also putting it was like I said, it was putting a band-aid on a bullet hole. Like, yes, it helped short term, but I think long term it's just gonna re uh it's just gonna do a whole lot of damage to what Xbox and the Xbox brand is as a whole. Like
yeah,
it's just gonna shift them from being a hardware manufacturer competing with PlayStation, Nintendo to a third party publisher at this point. So
Yeah.
so
But
shout
if
out
if if
to
he didn't see this coming, then he's a fool because everybody and the mom saw this coming.
yeah, everybody was like
well,
this.
shout out
Yeah.
to Persona, he called it. But I'm gonna say something even different. So remember how we all said that Bungie was PlayStation was purchased? This is now what's happening with Xbox. Activision was is their worst purchase. Not only did they overpay, they let go of close to what? How many people in the studio? In the what you call it? The publisher, ABK.
I mean, I don't know.
They let go of what?
They've been
Twelve
firing
thousand people
people.
or something?
They've been firing people so
Huh?
much. I can't keep up with who's from ABK and who's from Microsoft.
Yeah, no, I'm strictly talking ABK. What? 12,000 around?
I don't think it was
No,
twelve
Right?
thousand from.
that was in Microsoft.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
Microsoft.
whole
Okay, my
that
bad.
wasn't ABK.
I do know they released so many people that these people could literally turn their own studio
Yeah, they
and be
did
good
release a
with
lot of
it.
people.
Yeah, not only that, they lost what 3 billion,
300
300 million
million.
or something. Yeah, on COD alone, you tell me nobody saw that one coming. and I'm strictly talking about analysts on Xbox and Microsoft front. Like, I don't know how these people justified this purchase in their head. They legit bought ABK for control. That's about it. Like they wanna go to a party. There is no but or it about it.
I don't think it's that. Even if they didn't
That's
want
how
to,
it feels.
they don't have a choice at this point. Like that's the difference with a lot of the strategies being developed by other companies or other companies in gaming in general. They don't have a choice at this point. That is the only way their current business model makes sense, is being fully third party. So yeah,
It
they don't have a
just
choice.
doesn't like. Does that not feel that they're gonna go to a party?
I don't think you heard what I said.
I heard you heard me, but when I wanted to say, I must say something different. But going back to it, yeah, it's frustrating. Like again, $1 trillion, gazillion dollar company lost to a not miserable, merely what $1 million company, Sony. I don't know what they even worth, but
Sony
it's
is a
like
billion-dollar company.
okay, $1 billion, okay, but I genuinely can't comprehend how they were not able to compete.
I mean,
I
like Morgan said, there'll be a
I
study about
know
it.
they didn't deliver the games. I truly understand that. But what I don't comprehend is why couldn't they deliver the game?
I mean, they were focused on
I
Halo, Gears, and Forza for too long. I mean, their studios
That's a
literally
good one.
they
That's a
had
good one.
studios that literally made nothing else for the longest time. Like
I
we've
mean,
talked about
to be
this.
fair, Xbox only had like 5 studios for like the longest time.
No, but what I'm saying,
Like
like
since like
they didn't even
2015,
bolster
they had like 5 studios.
they didn't even bolster those studios. It was always to either
Yeah,
Yeah,
bolster
but
like
them to
you
we
have
make
to
even
other
remember
have
though
things.
that Microsoft wasn't really giving them any type of money back then either. Like
No,
they
no,
were
but
just like,
I mean,
because that
regardless
was
of
at the
the
point where Microsoft was like, why are y'all here?
yeah, but
Like,
I'm saying like
why
regardless
do
of
y'all
the
exist?
reason, that's the mistake though. That's the mistake they made.
Yeah, sure.
Is not
Yeah.
investing when they had the chance to bolster those studios and give them the ability to make another IP. They were like, oh, cool, Halo's big. You know, like again, like I said, people got blindsided by Halo. Like to this day, like I'm in a chat with like 5 dudes that are enamored with everything Halo, like the books, everything. Like when they talk about Halo, you would swear it was Star Wars. It's
Yeah.
the greatest
I
thing that
mean,
ever lived in gaming.
Don Matrick really fucked shit up for Xbox. Like,
He did.
he launched a
the,
console that just was abysmal, overpriced, no games, focused on everything but games, and put Xbox on the trajectory of a downward spiral. Like they were coming off their best generation ever. They had the opportunity to build on that and exceed PlayStation with the Xbox One, and they just dropped the ball so fucking hard. People, that's why people were so sideswiped, because it's one thing to come off of a bad console year and just have another one. You're just like, well, same shit. But then to come off the 360 and then just immediately, no pun intended, just 180 that shit. Like we're like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like we just had the three. What the hell what are you talking about? We have to have this connect forced on us, and we can't play without it. And it's an extra $100 to be included with the console. It's like, yeah, you can't turn it off. What? Like the whole DRM
So what you're
thing, you
telling
can't
me
share
is
and
games.
then what they did,
Like,
they removed it.
I mean, they had
yeah.
no choice because it was the backlash was just too much. And then Dom, after coming out talking about, everybody was like, this is way too overpriced, and he was like, well, we have a console for you, and it's called the Xbox 360. And people were like,
Yeah,
nigga, what the fuck?
I also believe they locked out because Sony went last and Sony didn't go so fast. Because we do know that Sony wanted to do the same thing, like TV as well.
I mean,
Mm,
So
I don't know about that.
they,
I don't know about all that. I don't know what you're talking about.
there is not rumors, like, yeah, rumors that PlayStation wanted to do TV as well. But when they saw how Xbox was received, they're like, oh yeah, fuck that. We're not doing that.
Yeah, I'm
What
trying to figure out who said
rumors?
that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
I've never heard that.
I'm not convinced.
Cause they only went after them like by a day. So you telling me they changed their entire marketing plan in a day?
I
Like
mean, if you see
I don't
how
think so.
people, okay, I'm gonna look it up who exactly said it, but I remember someone legit
Well,
saying it.
I'm sure somebody said it, but I just don't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that
I'm talking about someone big like Shuei Ishida or someone else. Like, this is not coming from an.
That is not a rumor, but I doubt it, Omar.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up. Who said it? But I remember reading about it and someone legit saying it, and someone on
Yeah, I mean,
PlayStation.
but we'll see.
yeah,
Wait,
like I was saying though, but it's just like that started that terrible marketing and
Yeah,
the
I do
launch of the
believe the
Xbox
whole
One
TV.
started the trajectory of Xbox on its downward path. Like, and then because of the bad sales, they had to get rid of the Fable team, what the Lion Studios or
yeah,
whatever.
they got
They
rid
got
of
rid
Lion
of a bunch of
Studios.
different studios. They got they had the cancellation of that that damn dragon game that everybody keeps fucking talking about. I can't even remember what the hell it's called.
Oh,
Scalebound.
Yeah,
Scalebound.
Scalebound, that one. It just the Crackdown 3 situation. It's just that they were just on a continuous path of just
Yeah,
trash. And then you look on the other side of the fence and it's PlayStation and it's just banger after banger after banger after banger. It's just like
but
it was just terrible. It
but
wasn't.
PlayStation had to recover though to reach that
Yeah,
level.
they did. They
So
did during the PS3 generation. Yeah,
yeah,
they had to
like
recover from that.
the PlayStation 3 could have easily been PlayStation last generation.
Yeah,
There
but you
was
have to remember though, when it comes to PlayStation, PlayStation is Sony, right? Without PlayStation, there is no Sony. It's not the same way with Xbox, right? Without Xbox, Microsoft would probably be in their stock would probably be a little bit higher, to be honest. but and it's
Mhm.
like Sony is all in on PlayStation. They're gonna do whatever they have to do to get PlayStation back on the right track if PlayStation goes off course. When it comes to Xbox, Microsoft didn't give a fuck. Satya came to Phil and was like, okay, so what's the point of y'all being here? Because y'all are just dragging my numbers down. Like, and then that's when Phil came out, was like, okay, what if we do Game Pass, a subscription service? And that, perked up Satya's ears because that's what he brought when he came in to the Microsoft company and he became CEO. That's what he brought in. He was the one who made the Microsoft Office, 365, made the subscription service that could be accessed anywhere. Like, I have the shit on my fucking iPhone, right? I can pull up Microsoft Word and Microsoft PowerPoint on my iPhone right now because I have it on there. That was his innovation to bring into the Microsoft company, right? And so when he heard the word subscription, it's like when Omar hears the word demo, he's like, subscription? Really? Oh, okay, let's do that. Yeah, that sounds fucking fantastic. Let's do that. Yeah, subscription. And then
Yeah.
but like Satya has been saying, he doesn't understand the concept of exclusives. That's his thing because like I said, with Microsoft 365, you can get that shit anywhere. You can get it on like I said, a Apple product because they don't make iPhones, they don't make iPads and Macs and things like that, but they offer the subscription on hardware that they don't make, and that's his thing,
Literally
putting it everywhere
everything.
because it's literally on everything because he doesn't care about platform exclusivity. He just wants shit
it's
everywhere so
crazy
he can
that
get
he
as
doesn't
much money as possible.
It's crazy that he doesn't understand
Would you
exclusivity.
would you understand it if what you did made your company the richest company in the world? Literally what he did by putting Microsoft 365 on every fucking device made Microsoft a $1 trillion company. They went from their stocks being like $20 a share or something to now they're like 550 or something like that a share. He quadrupled the worth of Microsoft. So in his mind, why would he care about exclusivity when when a
In the
multi-platform
future.
push made him and the company so fucking rich? So why would he care about that? But again, you have to look at it as gaming is a little bit different
Yeah,
than
it's a different
than
avenue. Yeah.
but he looks at it in the broad terms of things. Like, it worked for this, it worked for Windows, it worked for Office, so it should work for gaming. But it's not the same. But that's I'm not saying he's right. I'm just trying to explain his thought process on it.
Then it
Like
makes
this
question:
this
Is
is
he
what made
surrounded
Microsoft
by
so
yes
much fucking
men?
money. Yeah, I mean, and he's just looking at the numbers. He's like, look, we're making more money now that we're selling our games on PlayStation. So I don't know what to tell you, bro. That's how he's looking at it. And again, the reason they're making more money on PlayStation is because this is how they set themselves up, because they're consistently losing customers from their own platform. So obviously now that they're selling on platforms that they don't own, PC, Switch, PlayStation, they're obviously going to make more money now because they set themselves up to be a subscription first type company, where if you want access to everything, all you got to do is subscribe to this. And so obviously other platforms who don't have it, like Switch or PlayStation, who have to pay for games outright, you're going to be making more money now because they don't have access to your subscription, and they have to pay full price for everything.
Do you
So
think Satya thought PlayStation would agree to put Game Pass on their platform?
I mean, we know from the documents that they tried.
We know they tried, but do you think he thought it's gonna be a done deal? He didn't think they're gonna.
He probably thought it would be easier, but the thing I guess he didn't think about is PlayStation also has their own subscription service that they don't want another competition on. Because at the end of the day, if let's just say PlayStation allowed Game Pass to be on the PlayStation Store or whatever, and you could access it, that's two different subscription services that gamers, and a lot of gamers, right? I mean, me included, would have to probably decide which one. So am I going to get PS Plus or am I
Yeah,
going to
the
get Game
only
Pass?
way it would have
And
been available if PlayStation would have killed PlayStation Plus and asked for cut
yeah, and they're
for
not doing
Game
that. They
Pass.
they make most of their money on
Yeah,
services, so
precisely.
they're not getting rid of that. And so asking for a competing subscription service to come on your platform and potentially take away your consumer base, they were like, hell no. We're not gonna no, we're not doing that. But yeah, I know that's what they wanted. Obviously, you want access to the, what is it? Freaking 200 million PS owners right now, right? If you include PS4 and PS5, right? Like they want, obviously Xbox would love to have the entirety of the PlayStation consumer base to be able to subscribe. Their numbers would probably go up like, substantially if they could get on PlayStation. But yeah, PlayStation knows that, and they're like, hell no.
Absolutely not.
I think okay. So here's the thing. I think if they they put day one, they're gonna get good numbers out of it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I think EA will do well
but
on PlayStation.
But what does do well though? Like,
Yeah, I do
this.
believe it's gonna do well.
No. What is
that?
that? The number. What is that? Because people keep saying do well. These games are gonna do well. What is the definitive number for do well? What is it? 5 million?
I think it'll vary
1.5
between
mil.
game.
First, I do believe EA could be the first Xbox game that could be like quality.
I mean, we already got that, which is Forza Horizon. I know you don't play that, and I know you don't understand that, but we already got Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 5 is by far the greatest game they have made this generation. Period.
Listen, you getting this man excited now. Oh man,
PlayStation?
It did like 2 million.
Forza's on its way to 3+.
Yeah,
if it hadn't passed it already.
Yeah, it's doing very well.
But you have to remember, it came out years later. The new one, there's a reason why it's not launching day and date. That specific. What, don't you find it funny that that's the one game not launching day and date out of all their upcoming titles? Halo is coming. E-Day, we damn sure know is coming day and date. But the game that sold the best for them so far, Forza Horizon, when 6 comes out, it's not launching immediately. It's launching, 5 to 6 months later. Don't you find that weird? Because they already know that they would get murdered. Like they wouldn't get the sales on their platform if they released it on
so
PlayStation.
You think they know they specifically didn't put it day one on PlayStation because they know it's gonna sell better on on
Yeah,
PlayStation.
because the
But
thing that
is
we
it
know
not
is
gonna
that
be the same? What build up? Would that not be the same with E-Day though?
I mean I no, but I don't think so. The
I
player
mean, I think you're
base,
assuming that too.
yeah, like we don't really know what's gonna happen with that, right? But they already have numbers for the amount of sales they've garnered with Forza Horizon. Like Gears hasn't like really been like besides
Gears
Reloaded.
hasn't. The Gears Reload didn't do that well on
Yeah.
PlayStation.
So I just don't I think they know the sales potential that they're looking at for each of these, and Forza is by far the biggest right now.
Why do
Like
you
out
think
of what's
Forza
coming out.
sold so well?
Why do I
Because
think
Forza's a good game.
Forza has no competition. It's a great game and it has zero competition. The PlayStation guys love racing games. Racing games have always done well.
This is the arcade one, right? Not
Yes,
the
the
same one.
arcade one. Yeah. There's a reason
Okay,
there's
yeah.
a reason they
I
didn't bring
mean,
motorsport
yeah,
over here. They know better
we-
than that.
They didn't bring more
what
over.
you call it? Need for Speed is dead, so it makes sense
Yeah,
for
Need for
Forza
Speed
to do
ain't
so
doing
well.
jack lately. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm
precisely.
saying. Like that whole realm, you got to remember, PlayStation used to have a ton of these things. You used to have Burnout. You used to have Need for Speed.
Yeah.
You used to have all these things. Now,
What was the one that PlayStation won back? Is it Burnout? The one that PlayStation fans really want?
I mean,
From the one.
from EA.
What was the one that? No, the
Club?
PlayStation game. Yeah, Drive Club. That's what it was.
Oh, Drive
Yeah.
Club, yeah. I mean, Drive Club was dope. Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no like the definitive arcade racer for PlayStation used to be Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer's not made anymore. Like again, like Need for Speed is basically done at this point.
Dead.
Yeah, everybody picks up whatever Need for Speed comes out at this point at like half off.
And it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, it's not the same.
And-
They keep trying to do a bunch of weird different things with it. It has no
Yeah,
consistency like Need for Speed Underground to Underground 2. Like that hasn't been a thing for Need for Speed in years.
Yeah, instead of actually tuning your car, now you get a card.
Yeah,
out of
but
it.
now
Like,
but Forza has all basically is the perfect match for someone who doesn't like the hardcore tuning and simulation of Gran Turismo. It's perfect. It is by
For
far
someone like me.
the best for anyone that casually wants to race. You want to drive a Lamborghini? Cool. That's the other thing. They have got every license to everything that you ever want to drive in that game. Like you're talking about 600 plus vehicles, Lamborghini, Ferraris, bunch of variants. They even put out cars faster than Gran Turismo. Like again, the quality of Gran Turismo.
Now we're
is
about to
higher.
do some Tokyo Drift now. Yay.
Exactly, and now they're finally going to Japan, which everybody wanted.
Which fans have been asking for
Yeah,
forever.
like this could by far, in large, be the largest Forza Horizon launch ever. Period. Like I'm not waiting 5 or 6 months to pick it up. I'm picking it up day one on PC, the $100 edition, the way I always do Forza. So I'm not waiting. But you know, if it's as good as it normally is,
I
and what
feel
I know
like
they can
you
do, I
would
might double up.
dip.
I might.
You would double
I
dip.
damn sure might.
Yeah.
But that's
know
how
you
big
will,
it
you
is.
know.
Like, tell me the last time you heard me talk about an Xbox game that way. Like, I wish I could. You know what I mean? But it's just not necessarily the same. The only other things I'm looking forward to as big in as big of a way is the other ones Morgan mentioned, Fable and State of Decay 3. That's all they got left.
Don't
Because
say
the other
State
thing
of
is
Decay
Perfect
too
Dark.
much. You're
I'm
gonna
looking
jinx it.
forward to Gears E-Day and Fable. And I would try State of Decay 3 because
Yeah, I mean,
love
I've played Gears over the years. I don't care. Like that shit is just boring
I
to
care
me.
for the story because I literally asked for what do you call it, a good gear story, and the first one have a good story. It's you gotta you get it close to you get it only at the beginning of the second game where you actually get a story for the first one. So yeah, I'm curious how they're gonna do it with this one, because apparently this one is going to be way darker and way less gears, if that makes sense.
I mean, color me
So I'm
interested to
looking
see what
forward to it.
interested to see what happens, but I'm will not be playing it. So outside of maybe the
I
campaign,
know.
if it's co-op, because I already know how that goes. So outside of that, that'll be the end of it for me. I'm not into the Gears multiplayer at all, so that's a hell of a no for me. I'm definitely not. Um, yeah, people thought that Reloaded was gonna resurge the whole Gears community, and yeah, I knew that was gonna last for about 5 minutes till everybody started getting shot in the face by PC players. So yeah, that lasted all of about 5 minutes. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, Forza Horizon is definitely their biggest thing right now out before we finally get the Fable release. And whatever else they got left. Perfect Dark is done. Hopefully that gets sold to somebody who can actually nurture it and actually create a game, that isn't Microsoft.
Well,
What were you
we're
saying?
gonna see.
We will.
No, we're gonna see.
Yeah.
I am hoping someone pick up the Perfect Dog IP, like PlayStation or something. They buy it.
Hopefully, because I mean, it sucked to watch it die
Like,
like
would
that.
that not be cool if PlayStation have a first person that is actually cool? Like, not. I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
talk shit about Killzone,
I don't
but
know
I
who's
never
gonna
played
make it, so I
Killzone.
couldn't tell you. But if they pick it up, I'll be excited for it because I know they'll know what to do with it. But until something happens with it, it's basically dead in the dark. So,
Ha ha.
yeah, I didn't mean to do that, but I did that. But yeah, running into one of our next things, because we kind of doubled up on the Xbox topics on that one, and then I wanted to get into what everybody's thoughts about Yote. We're not gonna it's not a spoiler cast. We're not going into spoilers. We're just gonna get everybody's review, what they kind of thought generalized with the combat, and maybe Atsu's character, what they thought of her character in general, and just kind of see what the finger on the pulse is about how everybody felt about Yote. I'll do it a little different. I'll go first because mine is kind of short. I thought it was a great game, start to finish. Like, they did a great job with a lot of the things. The tone was different and things of that nature. I definitely don't. I will say the one thing I definitely don't feel like the game is better in a lot of ways, but there were certain things that I enjoyed more about the first one. Kind of like my whole thing with Death Stranding. Death Stranding 1, I enjoyed the story more than Death Stranding 2, even though I really enjoyed Death Stranding 2 story regardless. So yeah, I enjoyed
Do you
the.
think maybe it's because it's a new IP that you are going into for the first time, so everything feel new?
What are you talking about?
I mean, with the story, everything feels new, like with Ghost. But with Yote, because you have an example for how the mechanic is and the story is could go, do you think maybe that's it?
No, because I believe they're completely different. So they're
Mm,
different in a ton of ways. The stuff that I like in Ghost better it's just different. There's not a That's why I said people get it caught up in the evolution, or the word evolution, or direct
that's
comparison
me.
for better.
That's me.
Yeah, it's not an evolution that took place here. They're just different. They're inherently different, besides the fact that they both swing a sword at some point. Like, Atsu is a completely different character than him. She's not a samurai. All these other things. Like, there are just certain things that resonated with me more with Jin, and certain things of his nature and the stuff that he went through that I enjoyed more. I enjoyed, for me, what was a larger, better focus on the stealth mechanics in Tsushima for me. Um, Again, it worked out that I went after, um, the character that helps you get some of the more stealth mechanics in Ghosts of Yote, first,
Mm-hmm.
because that honestly would have frustrated me. Morgan was definitely hearing me complain about, like, where the fuck is all the ghost shit in this game? Like, where's all my tools and all the cool shit that I do from the stealth?
Yeah, you do feel that when the game open up, eh?
Yeah, I mean, like, I was like, is it hidden? Like, where, and if I would have done attacked everybody the same way that they kind of lead you to in the order, I would have gotten to it a lot later. But I
Yeah.
I inadvertently went after the Yote six member that gives you that leads you towards the more stealth path and learning some of the more stealth skills. So that worked out for me.
Did
But
you
yeah,
do it on purpose, knowing where it is, or it just luck?
no, I mean I was looking for specific armor pieces and other stuff that
Ah,
I
okay,
went towards,
gotcha.
and they all happened to just be that direction. So by the time I was chasing, that aspect, it was already a foregone conclusion. It was just that's just where I was at that time. Um, so I did a little bit of everything as I was going around. Like I wasn't specifically going after that, but then once I realized that was the path and that's what was happening, then
You
yeah,
locked in.
I just went full force on that. Um, but yeah, like I said, the certain the weapon switching mechanic was interesting. I honestly feel like I switched stances more than I switched weapons though. Like I was kind of I'm stubborn that way. Like
I
I
agree.
don't want to be
I agree.
told what weapon to use specifically, and you can use whatever you want, right? Like you don't have to. But like Morgan was saying, Morgan liked it that they talk shit when you use the quote unquote wrong weapon, versus
Yeah,
a specific matchup, the rock paper scissors of the whole thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I really didn't care what they were saying. Like, if I wanted to use dual swords, I'm gonna use them, and I'm gonna go
I
ham.
love how they call you out. You're using two swords. It's not gonna make you better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like there. I mean, that it was funny though. Like, I mean, it was funny.
It is
Um,
funny, but it also called back how they hear rumor about a two sword on Rio, and then they see you and you're like, oh, you're that one. Oh, we're fucked.
yeah,
You
pretty
see
much.
them scared.
I will say the other thing that I felt for I don't know, like the amount of, again, this stuff could be mitigated depending on how you play, right? But I felt like there was a lot of skills that I felt like I got way too late. Like I felt like sometimes they were like way too spread out or whatever. Like I feel like I would have had to like go out of my way to specifically constantly focus on getting them. So it was like a ton of skills, and it was just like I have all these different skill sets and things to go through, and it was just like that's kind of what actually made me use certain weapons more, because I just had more skills for them. Like certain weapons just weren't up to par until later. Like I didn't do the spear until literally very last, and then it took me forever to get like her competent with the spear, where I felt like she had enough move sets and things to kind of work through. Again, this is the kind of the risk you run when you again have an open world game, and depending on how you lay things out and how the person plays through the game, since you are not directly controlling where they're going in a linear game. Um, but yeah, that was something else that kind of bothered me. I always hate having a bunch of skill sets or things where I feel like I can get to the end of the game and I don't have everything that I feel like I should. I'm not really that master of everything. And then I feel like if I feel like I have to go out of my way to get it, like that bothers me or frustrates me. Um,
The the whole skill was so pointless.
oh yeah, I immediately ignored the horse skills when I realized
I
how that
never
mechanic
used
worked.
it. I only used it once. I tried it in the game itself, and then I tried it just for the funsy. And I'm like, why would I waste my MP on that shit?
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely those were definitely sitting in the dark. I think I only got the first two skills out of the bow tree, even though I used the bow a decent amount
Yeah,
throughout the
no,
game
my
too.
bow was also a lot because you hardly use bow.
Yeah, so like I don't like it was just the layout was weird. I mean, it sounds like I'm saying it's bad. It wasn't bad. It's just I felt like the skills were so spread out. Like I felt like unless I focused on something, she would never get to the mastery of shit. Like it was just there was so much stuff that it was like, damn, I'm never gonna like at the rate that I gain skills, like new skills, it's going to take me forever to master any of these unless I specifically just sit around and follow this yellow bird and buy maps all day. Like that was kind of the annoying issue for me. Um, but yeah, I like the general flow of the story though. Like the world itself, This is somewhere where I definitely agree with Morgan. Like the world, the way it was laid out, felt more alive, felt more lived in. Obviously, there was like a whole war going on in the first one, and people were just like trying to duck. But yeah, I don't know, just like the way it was laid out. Felt just really organic, and a lot of the stories and stuff. The also the location, something I've never really heard anybody mention, but the location of some of the tribes and stuff made sense. You know, you had the more northern people who were used to winters, and they had a certain way of life and all these other things. And um, while I felt like some of the side quests weren't as, I don't know, explosive is the best way I can explain it. Like as some of the ones that were in Tsushima, like where I'm fighting the dude that like shoots lightning from the sword, and I get the crazy lightning sword skill and stuff. Like I felt like that wasn't there, but uh, I felt like the general quality of the side quests were even better, and like I said, felt organic and just kind of as you kind of went through the world. So again, like I said, they did some things definitely better, or certain things felt better. Again, I'm kind of like neither here nor there about the switching thing, because I do like that I had different weapons. Um, but yeah, I just feel like I didn't switch skills half the time. Like I found it more, I don't know, annoying sometimes to have to use certain things to get things done. So I found myself fighting that system more than loving that system, I guess is the best way to explain it. Like I don't know, I was stubborn that way. Um, but yeah, like I said, to avoid any spoilers or anything, but not really talk about the main story or whatnot. But I did enjoy the main story when I did push it. Um, I enjoyed the characters in this world. Again, I really liked a lot of the characters. Their struggles felt really real, and things of that nature. So overall, yeah, like I really enjoyed the game. Once I was able to finally get some armor going, I did like quite a few of the armor sets. Um, where I'm at now, I don't know if there's some sort of ultimate
I know for
set
a
that I'm
fact
missing.
you didn't get the best armor in the game.
I mean, probably not, but
The
yeah,
stealth one.
I felt like I have a ton of stuff, so I don't. You'd have to be specific. You'd have to tell me the
Okay,
name of
the
the
one where
armor.
you can literally run and without enemies hearing you.
Just you're gonna have to tell me the name of the armor. There's I have like 3 stealth armors.
He's trolling you.
Yeah, so I was like I don't know what he's talking about.
It's the Onsen armor that he's talking about, which basically is no armor at all.
There is. Well, it's not an. It's an armor, but
Yeah, but you half naked. That's what you mean.
well, yeah,
Fan
but
service, huh, Omar?
Fan
it's
service.
it's
He would like the fan
different.
service armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't care about the fan service, but I care about the fact that it give you the best perk in the
Uh-huh.
game, which is for Ghost, the ability to run through enemies without them hearing you. Like,
No, I mean I get
There,
that.
there, there is no best armor in the game because that's why you have multiple loadouts, so you can switch
So you can switch
between
for
which
each
armor you need.
situation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
no,
No, I
I
agree.
wish. Okay, so I'm gonna make
Hold on, because
you
you you about to go off, and I'm almost done. Hold on. So ultimately, in the end, the game is 9 out of 10. Just to keep it short, um, graphically blown away, art design blown away, sound design blown away. They knocked all those things out of the park. Shout out to Sucker Punch; they did an amazing job. I enjoyed the game, and I can't wait to play Legends because obviously I know that's still
What you
coming.
mean? It's a
oh, you
PS4 game.
know, Legend gonna pop.
Yeah, people saying it was a PS4 game is crazy.
Yeah, it looks like a PS4 game. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they are
Oh,
crazy.
okay.
But yeah, go ahead, Omar, because I know you're about to go crazy. Remember, sir,
Yeah,
careful,
no. Look,
no
I
spoilers.
am. What frustrates me is, and I know you loved it, and I know Morgan loved it. Why the fuck is the loadout button is inside the menu while the what you call it uh uh Photo mode is literally a left or right, what you call it, analog. Like, I really wish I could replace it to. I believe the what you call it, the photo mode should have been in the menu, while the
Absolutely not.
loadout,
Because
while
then
the
you want to take a
loadout
snapshot
switch.
what's happening at right at the time. You
The
don't want to have to
I
pause.
truly this is why I feel that the whole photo mode trend is now obscuring the gameplay.
Oh my god.
I truly wish the loadout was literally part of the touch of the analog, or give me the ability to what you call it, to customize it that way. Cause as someone that uses what you call it, load out a lot uh, over photo mode every single time. Like, I wish it would have been way more fun that way for me. Now, story. I love this story far more than what you call it, the first one, mostly because of Atu as a character. I love how she grows. I love how she is raw. She is just raw. I'm gonna leave it as that. She is not cruel. Like, she is truly have a personality. She is hilarious. She has some of the most funniest moments out there. Voice acting, the Japanese one, nailed it, and then some. The characters, NPCs, they felt so real. Nate said it, the struggle. You, you feel it with them, you experience it with them, and they welcome you as part of them, as one of them, or you feel that, what do you call it, not racism, but like, uh, the basically you're not part of them. I forgot what that word is, but okay. Um, Now for the weapon system, I'm with Innate on this one. Bow, I hardly ever use bow, only for the trophies and because sometimes I wanted to level up. What you call it? The amulet, which thank God there was no trophy to level every single animal to all every single level. That would have been pain. Um, the weapons themselves, I mentioned it beforehand, but I wish they didn't give you when you get it's the best weapon version of it. You get it like as a skin. I truly wish your skills were tied to your weapon that you pick up. So if you master a weapon, then you learn a certain skill. I truly wish that was part of it. It's the what you call it, the the first one. I wish we had spent more time on the first Yote, because that just felt way too quick. Because despite everything, the design wise, I loved it. And I wanted to have better, more experience with it. Okay, now we're gonna talk about the best thing in the game, bar none, and it's not even close. And it's the ghost or legend. Basically, um, you do a certain side quest, and then it end up with fighting a difficult enemy, kind of like a mid boss. It's not a mini boss, and this boss most of the time drop you amazing armor, or I don't think it drop weapon, all the time armor. And it's not just the armor that's cool, it's the lore. It's the story. It's how you are treated when you're experiencing the story. The art design, when they draw it, is phenomenal. The voice acting, the music. I love the music so much. Yo, this game, they nailed a lot of things. But again, I do believe in order to push you to use a certain weapon more, I truly believe your weapon shouldn't have been very effective. And I'm talking legit, like you're doing no damage at all. Not that you can brute force it, because it's so easy to brute force it. And that way, not using a certain weapon while you should be in order to get what you call it. The best out of it, damage wise. But yeah, I'm wishing for a DLC. We saw a rumor that not rumor, uh, an interview that they might be thinking about that. But I take Legend. I take Legend all the day as well. I truly do wish we had more variety when it comes to what you call it, anime design. The way they implemented hallucination, I think could have found a way to give us the Oni from Legend, which would have had different skills and stuff like that where you need to look out for. Maybe they wanted to leave it for Legend, but yeah, all by all, phenomenal game, play it. And what do you think, Weep?
Oh, nice segue.
Yellow?
Yellow?
Oh, this man just hosting all of a sudden. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you guys are talking, it's okay. But when I take the control all of the sudden, oh, so you remember, I am the host. I used to be the host. Damn.
Oh man.
No, and hatred played me so much that my co-host forgot that I used to be the host. Damn. That
Yeah.
that
Back
one
in
thing.
my
Yeah,
day.
go ahead.
Back in my
Wait,
day.
what's your thought?
Lord.
Uh, um. Yeah, I mean, I don't recognize you and all that nitpicking, but whatever. You know, uh, I mean, I said it already when I talked about in intros a couple of weeks ago. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's absolutely amazing. I like it way better than the first one. Um, I mean, I liked the first one. Don't get me wrong, but it also had stuff that irked me. You know, the whole sorry, Jin, the Khan is another castle thing. It felt really unnatural where you're just they're sort of decide to have like three maps, and they're constantly finding an excuse for you to get to move to another map. And here it's much more gradual. You of course you have more freedom, um, but yet the idea of the Yote Six, or that they're clear targets, and not just one and everybody else is pretty much sort of padding. Yeah, it's brilliant, and they're pretty. Some of them pretty good villains, or at least
Yeah, I agree.
fleshed out enough. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely amazed by how much they improved it. I mean, it's there's a gameplay, of course, it's massively improved. Like I like the weapon switching, or the weapons more than the stances. They made also it's more fun to use, but also more sense. And I don't necessarily. I think yeah, you can of course decide to sort of use your weapons that are not optimal, in the situation. But for the most part, like I kind of stuck to what works. I think so. The Odachi was more or less the wild card, because that was specifically for larger enemies, but you can also once you unlock certain abilities, you can also use it to disrupt enemy attacks. Like it is also quite effective with regular sword enemies. I mean, there's a lot of things you can play around with, and I also use the bow a lot. Like I mean, come on, once you have explosive arrows, you want to use them, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and I think I kind of see where you saying that some stuff unlocks too late, and there's choice with like you actually have to choose to go for a different weapon. That's sort of where I also naturally decide something. Okay, I have to go to the other marker that says, okay, here is another weapon, because I'm like I was at some point you were sort of spending points on skills that you didn't really need.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I need to get that weapon so I can also unlock that skill 3 and unlock those skills. Uh, I I I I did think I unlocked the spear like pretty early. So and didn't regret, because the spear is definitely a lifesaver. It yeah, especially also when you're fighting some of the tougher optional bosses. Um, but yeah, I mean, this gives you a lot of freedom on how to play it. Also with the approaches, how, do you want to go stealth, or you want to go, um, guns blazing, swords, swords blazing, into enemy camps. Um, the world definitely feels, as you said, more alive. There's, and this, it's not like, I know a lot of people say, oh yeah, that dumb bird, but I
Yo,
really
that bad.
I did not encounter that bird that often, like, because I
No
was
way.
naturally exploring the map, where I'm just, okay, I already found that stuff. Like, I don't need a stupid bird to tell me, where that next hot spring is, or the fox den, because I was just sort of methodically clearing the map. Like, oh, there's a spot I haven't been to yet, so we're just clearing it. But like, I cleared the entire first section where you start out with, before I went ahead to confront the Oni. That's sort of how I played it. So I mostly naturally encountered most things. The only things I was missing in the end were the puzzle boxes and the and some of the painting locations, which apparently are still missable, even though I had nothing on my map that was sort of still unexplored. But there were like you have to really get really close to actually spot those spots. So yeah, but I mean, on that is pretty doable. To just find anything, just by cruising around and just going off the beaten path. And I love the variation in the areas. The snow areas with the ninjas popping out. Um, the Oni area where everybody is basically using flaming weapons. Which
The
where
ninja
you
with the chain were a pain.
I mean, you literally have weapons to deal with them, so it's not that hard.
They were atrocious. The first time catching off guard, you need to learn their move, otherwise you're fucked.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you always play it on a higher difficulty. That's your problem.
I was playing on normal the entire time
Oh,
until,
really?
That's a surprise.
yeah, until I started fighting the second, what do you call it, Yote. That's when I put it on hard.
Okay, so you did put it on hard. Okay. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, Mister All Go No Quit. I gotta play on the hardest difficulty. Played the whole game on normal. Absolutely
I
not.
didn't see that much difference with Lethal, to be honest.
You didn't see that
Uh-huh.
much difference with what?
I didn't see that much difference with Lethal. That's why I just
Oh,
put it
that's a
on
lie.
hard.
Yeah,
Now
that's
lethal was hard as shit.
Yeah, I saw people talking
No.
about playing on lethal.
I tried lethal at the 100 bot and the damage was literally the same. So I was like, okay, then there's no point in me doing it on lethal.
This man making excuses because he didn't want to play on lethal. All right.
Sounds like an excuse, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But for normal people, normal is fine. Don't be like Omar.
Damn, normal
Don't
people.
torture yourself.
So first I'm an alien, now I'm not normal. Okay.
I
Yep.
mean, you're not normal. We've definitely established that. Crowd, wait a minute.
Yep.
Chat. We have definitely established that Omar is not normal, right?
He
Am I
said that.
tripping here?
He said that as if we were calling him normal before.
Yeah, I was like,
and
wait.
switching. Like, when have we ever called you normal?
I think the chat has established that you are not normal, and you also will go out of your way to watch Power Rangers when you're supposed to be doing other stuff. We have
Oh my
established
God.
that.
Yeah, he'll use that as an excuse when he's supposed to be beating the game. He'll be like, but I
watched Power
but I was
Rangers
watching Power Rangers. It wasn't no one time. It wasn't no one time.
It was definitely
No,
multiple
one
times.
season.
You
One
sit there lying.
season.
It was not
I
no
tried
one
to
time.
play one season. I didn't
No.
even finish the season.
That's even worse.
Right?
Oh my God.
You can't even commit, man. Come on.
What the? Ah! Let's finish. Let's continue. That. Yalla.
Oh, yeah, go
Yep.
ahead, Weep. Where were you done? My bad.
I have no idea what was done. Just an amazing game. I mean that's the conclusion. I mean, yeah, I can't really fault it on anything really. It did everything it needed to do. Hit all the right boxes. It improved massively upon the first game. Protagonist also and that sort of maybe makes a lot of difference. Play this game in Japanese. Like it's
Absolutely.
absolutely the best experience. Like I tried switching between different dubs, but like I know that most of the actors have their likeness in the game and are basically English speaking, but like playing in Japanese, like the dub is incredible and it's lip sync, so you don't have that awkward sort of a Hong Kong movie feel as with the first game.
Yeah.
But I mean, it definitely feels better because the problem I had with a lot of the especially like the NPCs, they were like they all were trying very hard to have this sort of typical Japanese accent that you always see in bad Hollywood movies, and
Yeah.
I'm like, it takes me out of it. Like, come on, man. If you're like you're already speaking English in ancient Japan, like it's already breaking that immersion. At least just talk normally. Talk like you're at least instead of talking like a caricature, like those aliens from the Phantom Menace, like the Trade Federation, like that's how it sounded like every time somebody was talking that was not your main character. Like, okay, fuck it, like I'm playing this in Japanese as it should, and they're all great. Like I absolutely love the Japanese cast. They did a fantastic job of just fleshing out these characters, both staying true to them, but also making sure they feel natural. They feel like uh, they're authentic Japanese characters who are living in this era. And yeah, like you said, like I do love uh, the characters feel more real, but they also have sort of this I wouldn't say nastiness, but sort of this roughness to them that they're just like very they're not as proper as they were in the first game. Which not to say that everybody was proper, but no, there was all, oh yeah, samurai code, this, blah blah blah. No, there are few samurai characters in the game that are, yeah. I mean, there's the clan, but for the most part, they're just people there living there trying to survive. They're
Mhm.
far more. Yeah, I don't know. They're sort of tempered, I suppose the right word to say that they've seen it all, experienced it all. Like war is nothing new to them, and they're just like it is what it is. Like we're trying to trying to make a living. I mean, I love like the side characters like like Goro is absolutely amazing. But even like your essentially quest givers are interesting characters. Like the guy who's giving me the bounties. Is hilarious. Especially when you're playing his mission. Uh, also, I love the idea that um, your companions, your wolf pack, will just join you randomly when you're making camp, and they you can have conversation with them, and they sometimes advance a plot or advance their own sub stories, and you can just make use of their services whenever you want, or at least at that point in time. I also love the that they decide to give the Ainu a lot of attention, because they're of course Japan's indigenous population. Yeah, got a rough deal with the Japanese. They have been very marginalized there, and it's great that they're getting a lot of attention there. Um, and yeah, I mean, the game is I yeah, it's just amazing. It feels every bit as the Japan experience, the historical Japan experience as the first game, with the beautiful landscapes, but then some, and more interesting protagonists, more interesting characters and villains, improved gameplay. Yeah, I mean, it made me feel more for the character, because you're immediately invested in Atsu because of what happened to her. While with Jin, it was more like, oh yeah, he needs to get rid of the samurai code and become, but essentially, the first ninja, as they explained as well in the game. Um, and yeah, I mean, the only point where really felt for him was like the end of the game. And for the rest, it was mostly, yeah, oh, poor you, you have to make a choice, between saving your island, your clan, or doing what the proper samurai needs to do. And that was kind of, through this the scale and scope of the game, also kind of lost. There wasn't really, to me, like a clear cut, what are you allowed to do, what aren't you allowed to do. With Atsu, they just said, yeah, no, you have a mission. Like, you're not a samurai, you're a bounty hunter, you're a woman on a mission, and you're going to take out your enemies, whatever it takes,
Yeah, you nip it in the
whatever.
bud real quick. They didn't take too long about that. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter how they die, they're gonna die at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the point of a revenge story.
That felt so
Uh,
refreshing. It's understandable with Jim because how he was raised, but with us too, like, nah, she is no bullshit.
Yeah, but it is like, completely understand why they made Jin the way he was, because he was supposed to be the entire, the character of the game is the landscape, it's the setting, right? And you're supposed to, like, it's always a choice between, when you have a protagonist, you can either make the protagonist very you know outspoken, like have a lot of personality, or you can make subdue that personality, so that people can sort of vicariously live through that character. What's it like, being in that setting, being in that era. And with Atsu, they went a bit more in the direction. Okay, yeah, yeah, sure, you still have that experience, but it's more colored through her perception, because she's more has more personality. She's more she has a very clear mission, and very clear idea of how she wants to achieve that, or what she's allowed to do to achieve that. And yeah, I mean, it makes it's more relatable in the sense that you're um, uh, okay, it's a very out there situation, like it's not relatable in that sense, but it is very relatable that you can understand why she's doing the way the things she's doing. And yeah, I think more so than the first game, I feel like not just the world is alive, but like people living there feel like real people. And yeah, I also get that like I mean some of the like your allies in the first game, I do feel like they had a bit more to them, as in there were had more stakes in your story, like the uh aside from I think the guy who gives you the dual katanas, like the rest don't really have a lot much of a role aside from their own side stories, right? They're not as actively supporting you throughout through your mission. But on the other hand, it also makes more sense because unlike the first game, you're not dealing with a massive invasion force that just is like an existential threat. Like there's no there are of course a couple of people who are switching sides, but there is not like it is very clear cut that there is one big threat, and here it's like there's a threat, there's a war going on, but it's a war between the rivaling factions, and there is not really um, a clear cut right and wrong for the perception of the normal populace. There is, of course, consequence of the actions. Like it's very clear that the Yote Six are quite cruel in their execution of trying to get conquer basically the area and trying to prepare for war against the shogunate. But yeah, it is it's less the people are less involved to say in the stakes there. Yes, it's happening to them, but they're not. It's understandable why some people are like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna play both sides, or I'm gonna pick a side, because to me, like as long as it doesn't affect me, I'm not gonna risk my life fighting a war, somebody else's war, right? But yeah, I mean, again, it's an amazing game. Absolutely love it, and yeah, I highly recommend it. And yes, most definitely not a PS4 game. Sorry, Morgan, I can't agree with you on that one.
Oh, darn.
Damn it.
Morgan, there are resident super samurai lover here. What did you think of Ghost of Yote, ma'am?
Yeah, I kind of gave my little mini review last week, but essentially, yeah, I absolutely love the game. It exceeded my expectations. I already had high expectations because many of you who know me know that I love Sucker Punch, and I absolutely loved Ghost of Tsushima. So, and I've been waiting for the sequel for Ghost, right? We've all been waiting it, but I've been saying, like, whenever they announce it, I'm gonna freak out. So, they announced it, I freaked out, and I was all, I was all in for whatever they wanted to do. And, they decided to do a new protagonist, and they wanted to make Ghost, an anthology series. So essentially gonna be sort of like Assassin's Creed or GTA, right? Where it's just a central theme that is kept, through the series. And the central theme of this is just being the ghost, right? So I was sad to see Jin go, but I was open to whatever Sucker Punch had to do. Was it whatever direction they were going, I was down. And from that intro, I like that they kept the the iconic intro that I guess is kind of stapled as their thing now, right? Where they come in with the horse and you come into the field. Like that's essentially their MO now. So I wonder if they're gonna do it again if they ever have another Ghost game. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous game. Like the moment I started the game, I was just mind blown. I was like, yo, there's no way they can like keep topping themselves in the visual department. And people I remember again, the joke I just made, but when Ghost of Yotei was first shown, and people were like, "Oh man, this looks like the same as Ghost of Tsushima. It doesn't even look any better." And I like thinking back about it. Like now, I'm just kind of laughing because this game looks miles better than Tsushima. And Tsushima looked great when it came out, but they've reached next level in the art style that they use for the Ghost games. And I think the decision to have Yotei, the mountain, as the backdrop for this game was a great decision. Like every time, no matter where I was in the map, and I look at that mountain, it like the way it was just like the backdrop for every little scene I was in, and it was just there looming in the background, looking like so vast with like the clouds at the top and the snow, and then that slowly pieced down to the trees. I was just like, man, that is. It was just gorgeous. It was just this huge, gorgeous mountain that was just kind of there. It kind of reminds me, when I went to Japan, the mountains that I would see, they were just. Uh, I was always so awestruck. They were amazing, and that it definitely gave off that feeling in Yotei. It's just a gorgeous ass game. I like that they kind of broke it up into different regions, and that each region kind of had their own thing with like the plains, and then kind of like the mountainous, and then like the swampy wetland kind of thing, then the snowy peak mountains, and then like the beach. Like all of it was just very well done. And I like the fact that, unlike Tsushima, where you kind of had like a central bad guy, right? What was it, Kubla Khan or Kublai Khan? Yeah. Who was like the main antagonist for Tsushima, right? You had like a couple other like, you know, I'm gonna do some spoilers, but Tsushima's been out for forever. But it's just like, you had your former friend, Raizu, who friend turned bad guy, and then like you'd have like little shogun, or not shogun, but little mini bosses here and there, but you never really had any that had a big story behind them besides Kudakan and Raizu, but then of course the eagle in the island DLC. But other than that, it was essentially those three, and that was as far as, well, two, as far as the main story, and that was it. So I like the fact that we had multiple antagonists in this game, and besides the snake, I think they all had a very good story behind them. I was, by the time I got to them, because I would get into the land, or whatever territory they were controlling, and then I would eventually work my way up to fighting them. By the time I got to that point, I was ready. I was like, okay, I get why he's the bad guy. I don't like him either. Let's kill him. Let's get rid of him. So I enjoyed that. I think each of the bad guys were well done, well written. Um, yeah, I was taking my time through each region, just trying to listen to the NPC stories about how that particular uh member of the Yotei Six was harming the people, right? Each of them was controlling a region, and everybody hated them, and it was just like, man, this one's taking all the food from us, or this one's controlling the farming, or we can't do this and that because of this particular member. And it was really cool to listen to the backstory of all of the villains. And then of course, the star, Atsu. I really enjoyed her character. I think I like her better than Jim. She's a very
Talk
well-rounded
about
character.
it. People gonna crucify you, but talk about it.
I mean, yeah, she's a very well-rounded character. I think Jin was who he was, and he was written for a purpose, right? He's the lone samurai on a mission. So, the stoic character who's quiet, and who's about his honor and his family, his duty. You're right. He's conflicted about what he has to do, because he realizes, if you're going to be a one-man army, you can't just do things the way you do it when you're with other, samurais, right? When you're with other samurais, yeah, you can be honorable, you can fight honorably, but when you're by yourself and none of the other samurais want to listen to what you're doing and what you're trying to do, how you're trying to take back, Tsushima, you got to fight the way you got to fight. And, that was conflicted with him. So I understand why he was the way he was, but I think I do like Atsu a little better. Like y'all were saying, from the get-go, she was just about that life. She did not care. The first scene we see her in, she's like walking into town, getting ready, getting ready to lay things down, looking for that one member. She's got all the members written down on, this piece of fabric on her body that she keeps on her at all times, that she, wipes their blood on their name to slash it off her list and being like, I'm on to the next. And her mission is, I'm gonna kill all of these people and then I'm gonna die. Like, I don't care about my life. I just want to avenge my family. I want to kill all of these members and then, that's it. Whatever happens to me happens to me. It's not about me. It's about getting the vengeance, right? That was her thing. And we've seen this a lot in Japanese cinema, right, with Lady Snowblood and also with like Kill Bill. Like I love those type of movies. Like Kill Bill is probably one of my favorite Tarantino movies. Like just straight up vengeance. Like I got a list of people who've done me wrong and they're gonna die, like no matter what. So when they said that this was gonna be kind of the theme for Yote, I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm down with this, right? And of course, I just finished watching a few months ago with the Netflix series that everybody should watch. Blue Eyed Samurai, another, woman down for vengeance, for the death of her family. She's going to kill these men and nobody's going to stop her. And that's just the mission she's on. Definitely gave me those vibes too. Like all of this cinema kind of just wrapped around and I was like all ready to go when it came to Yote. But yeah, I think that they've uh, definitely improved on their writing with this one. I think the writing is a lot better in Yote than it was in Tsushima. I think the story was a lot more fluid. I think it just flowed better. I like the characters in this better. Now, obviously, like there's more, like y'all were saying, with the emphasis on like the side characters. That's more of a thing in Tsushima than it is in Yote, right? The characters in Tsushima kind of grow with you as you're moving about to get to Kudakan or whatever. Um, but in this one, it's kind of like, there's side characters. You got your wolf pack, as they say, but there's not a real much of a story building around them the same way it was in Tsushima. But I think they kind of switched their focus, right, from the side characters to the antagonists is what they wanted to kind of focus and have more of a story on, which is fine with me. Like I said, I really enjoyed the antagonist, and I think the story behind them and why they join the Yote Six and the whole reason why the Yote Six exists and everything. I think that was very well written. But yeah, I loved the different weapons. I didn't know how I was going to feel about that at first when they announced that it wasn't just going to be like a katana with different stances. It was going to be different weapons. I enjoyed it. I think um that was one of the things I was apprehensive about. I was like, I don't know, man. I really like my katana. I really like just holding the katana in, different stances. And, I think that, because, you just think of the Japanese samurai, you think katana, but then you also have to remember again that Atsu, as much as people online want to, people who haven't played it love to use it as an argument. She's not a samurai, right? So it makes sense that she doesn't just rely on a katana, right? She relies on whatever weapon she has, right? Whatever weapon she can get her hands on, whatever weapon that a sensei or a teacher or whatever decides to teach her with, then she'll use it. She'll use whatever she can to her advantage to get the six. She doesn't care as long as they die. She doesn't care how they do it. How they die is just as long as they die, right? So it makes sense to her character that she would use more than one weapon. And I like the fact that a lot of the different kind of side missions that we know in Tsushima were in this, but they were like improved tenfold. Like the bamboo strike, I absolutely love the fact that every one of them was like different. Like they each had their own thing. Some of them like had funny things where, you ran into certain situations. Some of them, had different kind of puzzles attached to them, or even you had people cheering you on or mocking you as you're trying to complete some of the bamboo strikes. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a great touch, because you obviously want some of the same things that you liked in a first game, but you don't want, just copy and paste. You want some improvements. And I think they did really well. Um, particularly with the bamboo strikes and things like that. And of course, one of my favorite additions, the additions of the wolf. I thought that was really nice. I liked that the wolf was, her own thing. She wasn't just a pet that follows you around and, was always by your side wherever you went. She just kind of showed up. And it's funny enough, like the
Yes, you
first time she
really
showed
like
up,
that, don't you? Every person I've heard have said they like it that she was their own person and she wasn't always with you.
yeah. I just like that, it's the fact that she just kind of showed up. Like I didn't want a wolf pet. It honestly wouldn't even make sense really. So the fact that, it was this growing companion that learned to trust you throughout the game, I thought that was cool. And there will be times where I'm like, I got maybe one or two enemies left and I have no more health and I'm about to die and an enemy swings at me and I'm like, fuck, man, I'm dead. Like, I don't want to have to do this whole little camp over again. But then here comes the wolf and she takes like, the chunk out of the enemy. And then, I get a little bit more health back and I'm like, fuck, yes. Like, here we go. I needed you. Like, it's like the wolf always showed up right when I needed her. Like, it was great. Like, she just sensed it like, all right, you're about to die, but, you could make a comeback. So, I'll save you. But I did enjoy that, and I did enjoy the little wolf dens that rescued her other wolf family. She was on her own vengeance path because the Yote Six were also killing her wolf companions too. So she was on her own vengeance path where she didn't like them either. So we were kind of both on the same path, both helping each other, but not tied to each other. She was like a reflection of Atsu, which was really cool. Um, but yeah, overall, fantastic game. I'd recommend it if you have any kind of like apprehension, right? Because you were a Ghost of Tsushima fan and you're like, oh man, it kind of switched the character and it's different weapons, a different setting. I don't really know if I'm gonna like it. I highly recommend it as someone who's a big Ghost of Tsushima fan, right? I have like 400 something hours in just the single player for Ghost of Tsushima. Like I've replayed that game so many times. I highly recommend this game. Like I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think you'll really enjoy it. Fantastic game. There wasn't any part of it where I was bored or I felt like the pacing was off. Like we were saying, the world felt so alive to me. I love the fact that there are actually more NPCs in this game, right? Because in Tsushima, it's just, obviously there's a war going on. So a lot of the regular NPCs are out hiding or, trying to get out the way of, Khan and the all the bad guys out the way, right? But this one, you have, villages, you have little mini towns, right? You have, you know, gambling dens, things like that, which the gambling mini game was fun as hell, to be honest. Very, very simple, but very fun. Um, but
Addictive.
yeah, yeah. It was fantastic. I think they've kind of nailed what people like about open world games, where people want to feel that fluidity, like that the things that you do in the game matter, right? That the world's actually alive and reacts to what you do, and that you can stumble upon random NPCs that are in need of your help, right? That will lead you to uh other missions or other side missions, right? Like you stumble on one NPC that'll lead you to a bounty randomly. I think that is awesome because that's an aspect of Red Dead Redemption 2 that I really like, that you could just happen upon some random person in need of help, and maybe they do need help, or maybe they're just going to jump you instead, right? Maybe they saw the bounty on your head, because that's another aspect of the game, that as you continue the game, the bounty on your head continues to grow, right? I think by the end it was like it's like 10,000 or something. But so you'll have people trying to come after you, right? People always trying to try you, but you're Atsu, you're that girl. So they try to jump you, but they end up dead, right? And I really enjoy that. I like the fact that sometimes you'll happen upon, while you're walking into a town, you'll happen upon like a group of Ronin randomly on the road because they'll be looking at a post that's, sitting on the road and it has a picture of your bounty on it. And they're like, wait, there she is.
Mhm.
you know, they're like talking shit like, yeah, I wish I run into her, man. I'm telling you, man, I'll fuck her up. and, and then you show up and they're just like, oh shit. Like sometimes they're like, oh yeah, there she is, and they'll try to jump you. But then other times, Atsu will walk up and be like, "Here I am. What's up?" And they see you and then they immediately start running. They're like, "Oh fuck! Like we were just kidding,
So
bro.
fast.
Like we didn't, yeah, we were just playing. We were just
We're
playing.
not about that
Like
life.
they was over there talking shit, but then when you show up, they get scared, run off. I love that because I'm like, yeah, that's right. The aura is coming off me. Atsu will be so cool about it too. She just be sitting on her horse and like she's like, "I'm here. What's up? Like, got a problem?" And they're like, no, we're good, we were just kidding. We're about to go off or whatever. But yeah, as she continues on her journey, her reputation, just gets higher and higher, and less people try her, right? They're a lot more scared of her. She's known as the ghost and
The Onryo.
the Onryo and things like that. So it's just like I enjoyed that, because when you're playing a game like this where you are, also playing as a bounty hunter as well, because Atsu needs money. She can't be just doing this journey broke. She's still got to eat. So you're doing bounties on the side as well. So your reputation also as a bounty hunter goes up as well. And I think that that's an aspect that people like in open worlds when the further you get into a game, the more the enemies and NPCs like that are scared of you because you're getting stronger, you've killed more people. The more members of the Yote 6 you kill, like the more your legend of the ghost goes up, right? And the less people are willing to just try to jump you. But when they do try you, though, you put them hands on it. There's always one that tries to run away, you know but and they almost got away until I got a certain weapon. And then, I'd stop letting them run away because that would always piss me off. I'm like, no, don't run. Like, I'm not the type to leave one to tell the tale. Like, no, nobody's gonna tell the tale. Okay, everybody's dying. All right. I'm not that type of person. Everybody's getting clapped today. But I enjoy that aspect. I also like the fact that your armor, um, the different slots, the outfit slots and things like that. I thought that was a good addition because I had to personally go from armor set to armor set depending on who I'm fighting. If you need more of a um like an anti bullet armor set, I would have to switch to that one. Or if I needed something that was more stealth friendly, or maybe something that was more, melee heavy. So I think adding the slots was a good addition because that would have really killed the pacing for me if I had to manually go into the menu and change each part of my outfit every single time. I would get into a new area. That would have probably killed it for me and probably would have affected the way I looked at the game. But yeah, only thing I think I wish they had a couple more because I think I needed more than 4 at one point. I needed like 5 or 6, so that would be probably the only real critique I
Yeah,
have. Like,
because
yeah,
there is a
give me like,
lot of builds that you
yeah,
can.
um, give me a couple more. But yeah, like they saying, I'm looking forward to Legends. I can't wait to see what they add to that. If it's just going to be like kind of like the same thing they did with the first one, but I mean, obviously they've made incredible changes from Tsushima to Yote. So I'm sure the Legends is going to be, it's going to have some great additions to it and a lot of improvements from the feedback that people gave from, Tsushima Legends. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, overall I give the game like a strong 9.5. Like it was fantastic. It's number 3 on my list right now for game of the year. Absolutely loved it. Like I said, it exceeded my expectations in every way. I think these are the type of open world games that I want going forward. The games where they don't just feel like I don't want to continue to diss Ubisoft, but just feel like that Ubisoft formula where the world really doesn't feel that alive. It just feels like you're just doing check boxes, right? You're just checking off a list of activities and going from one section to another. This one just felt so free flowing. It just felt like I was like naturally going from one place to the next, just looking for more information about the Yote 6. And so it just flowed really well for me. And I think I like worlds where I am continuously distracted because that just means that I'm having a really good time. Like if I'm going towards a mission, but then I see a bird. I'm like, oh yeah, let me follow the bird. And I'm like, oh look, a hot spring. And then I'm like, oh wait, in the distance from the hot spring, I could see a shrine. Oh wait, on the way to the shrine, there was this random NPC. He wants me to follow him. Okay, let's go there. Like I'm the kind of person I don't really get annoyed by that stuff. I love that stuff. I'm like, yes, distract me. Take me wherever you want. Like let the game flow through me. Like just
What revenge?
I don't mind. I
We
just
forgot
don't mind.
revenge exists, didn't we?
Yeah. You said what?
I said, what is revenge? We forgot that shit exists. We're
Yeah,
so
I mean, I,
busy
I
following
wasn't
the
I wasn't going for the 6 for forever. I think I had like 25, 30 hours before I even went for like um
yeah.
the second boss. It was
Yep.
crazy
Same.
because it's just so much to do in the world, and it was like I never got bored. I was just like, oh, what's over here? Oh, what's over here? Oh, what's over there? Every time I would see something interesting, I would just walk over there, and of course, and it would always be something interesting. And I enjoyed the fact that whatever I ran into, especially when it's just random NPCs on the road, that it wasn't just boring filler stuff like, oh, he wants you to just to go get him a flower over there. Like, oh, okay. Like, it was actually fun things like, oh, here's this samurai, he needs protection. There's people coming after him, or oh, there's this pregnant lady, you gotta make sure to protect her from these people coming, and oh, we need help because we ran out of money and we need somebody to go out and kill the guy that says we owe him stuff. Like it was like actual interesting things to do. And that's what makes you want to explore open world, when they actually have interesting activities that are thrust upon you in the world. Like, you could always choose to not do it, but the fact that it's there and you have that option to do it, it was just so well done. The writing structure of this game, I think, was phenomenal. They definitely stepped it up from Tsushima. So I can only imagine if they decide to do another Ghost, which they probably will, since they felt the need to make it an anthology. That usually means they're going to have more. Um, but if they do, I can't wait to see how they build upon this formula for their next game. I think it's going to be well done. And there's people that want them to leave Japan. Like, bro, leave them alone. Okay, let them stay. If they want to stay in Japan, let them stay in Japan.
Yeah, I
There's
don't.
there's so
I'm
many
not a fan
tales
of
that
that rhetoric going around where like
yeah,
people are like, can they do like
They
Ghost
said,
of
what about
Yote,
medieval?
like Ghost of Medieval, and I'm like, bro, if I see another freaking
Yeah.
medieval game, I'm a snap. No,
bro. Like they want at this point they just want them to become Assassin's Creed, and I'm just like, bro, like, why are y'all
exactly.
like this? That's
Yeah,
what they
but
want.
OG
Where
is
it's like,
good.
oh, it's in Egypt and it's in Europe and or France and here it is in Italy and here it is, and I'm like, just like, bro,
But you know what this means? It just showcased just how amazing the game is that they want to implement they want them to implement it in other areas because
yeah.
the lack of areas doing it, other games doing it. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, but there's like so many freaking medieval games though. I'm like,
Yeah, no, I get
yeah,
it. I'm with you.
because
I'm with you.
yeah, because I remember Nate was bringing that up to me about how somebody wanted that, and I was like, okay, but Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 exists if he wants a medieval game like that's open world. And then he said, yeah, people said that in the comments, but he was like, but I don't, no, I just want Sucker Punch to make it. I'm like, see, this is my problem. People are so confined to what, like, I understand liking certain studios and things like that, but especially when it comes to like, I, I hate to say it, my fellow PlayStation gamers, a lot of people in the PlayStation community are stuck only wanting to play games made by PlayStation Studios when there are so
Which is
many
a
other studios
crime.
out there making games. And like, I'm not going to be here to tell you that PlayStation doesn't make awesome games, because they do, right? They're my favorite publisher. They make fucking fantastic games, but that doesn't mean that the other studios don't exist. and it's like they don't ever want to step out that bubble, and that's why they're so upset about this generation, because they feel, oh, PlayStation isn't making enough games. And I'm like, PlayStation isn't the only publisher that exists. Y'all know other games are being made, right? There's fantastic fucking games being made right now, and you're doing yourself a disservice by just sticking around for PlayStation and waiting for, like, fiddling your thumbs waiting for them to make something. It's like, bro, there's a medieval game right there. That is my game of the year, my number 2 right now. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, fantastic open world RPG medieval game that probably would check all his boxes that he wants from a medieval open world game, but he doesn't want to try it because he wants Sucker Punch to make it. Like, bro, come on. Come on, man.
Kingdom Come Deliverance is now number 2, but you're number 1.
Sir, have you not been listening to me? I've been saying this for weeks, Omar, bro. What do you think my number 1 is?
Just 33.
There you go. Congratulations, Omar. Jesus Christ, man.
I remember it. Oh yeah, it was your number 2 all along. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she said they were really close, but it was 33.
Yeah. So, like, again, my PlayStation players, please, I get it. PlayStation is a fantastic publisher, but please stop relying on them to make every damn thing. They only have a certain amount of studios anyway. Like,
Yep.
they can't make every damn thing. Okay, you got to look outside, because you're missing fantastic games by only locking yourself to PlayStation. And it's coming from somebody who's a big PlayStation fan. Okay. Play other games, my God, and play other games that are not AAA, because that is another problem in this community, where anything deemed not AAA is considered low quality. I don't want to play that. That's not true. There's so many great indie games that surpass. I think this year is one of the best examples of that, right? We had so many indie games that surpassed the level of AAA for many people. This year, and it's been fantastic. Like, so many great games: Split Fiction, Expedition, Hollow Knight, like Silksong, like Kingdom Come. Like, it's just, there's just so many independent studios, AA, single A games that are doing fantastic jobs, that are doing what AAA should be doing. And that's because, one, they don't have to rely on being backed by a big publisher who, can kill creativity because they want certain numbers, right? So I guarantee you, those are the games that are making the games that y'all want to play. So please support indies. Okay, this whole Ghost thing turned into an indie support thing. That wasn't my goal. I'm sorry, I went on a tangent. But yeah, Ghosts of Yotei, fantastic.
We're definitely your goal.
You're right. Fuck it, indies up. But yeah, Ghosts of Yotei, 9.5. One of my I hope it's up there in the nominees, but again, there's so many fucking great games this year. But I hope to see it up there for Game of the Year. I don't think it'll win, but I think it definitely deserves to be nominated. But fantastic game, fantastic cast, fantastic writing. The Sucker Punch team has really found their niche with the Ghost series, and I can't wait to see what they do with it, or if they move on to a new IP. That's perfectly fine with me. As I've always said, my rule is I just want to, and if you want to move on, that's fine. Do what you feel is best for your studio, okay? But yeah, I can't wait to see what Sucker Punch does, and it's they've kind of put their foot down that they're a one game team, right? They only want to work on one game at a time, which is that's how you work. That's how you work, right? People want them to branch off into 2 studios, and like, not every studio is equipped to do that. You can't just force that on studios, because then when they're making subpar games, then y'all are back to bashing them and getting upset, wait, this isn't as good as the last game. I'm like, well, y'all force them to work with less people. It's just, let studios work how they want to work. But yeah, I can't wait to see where this goes. I can't wait for Legends, and I hope we get a DLC too. I know they said it was up to the fans, but if you're listening, Sucker Punch, the fans want it. I'm a fan. I want it.
The fans want it. Look at that trophy.
Give me a DLC. Oh, but first, can I get my new game plus, please? I need it. So I want to play in Kurosawa mode in Japanese. So could you hurry up? New game plus. Thank you. Okay, that's all.
Oh, I think it's safe to say you love it.
Would be crazy to run it back.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Amount of games right now.
Yep. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here, because we are well past the 3 hour mark at this point, and I think that is enough. So, with that, we're gonna get ready to say our goodbyes. Thank you to everybody who came out in the chat. Uh, it was some great conversations. Josh and Thrifty early on, Henry, Hero in the fourth quarter, and Salazar and everybody in between. Like I said, the chat was lit. Despite we don't get 1,000,000 people or 200 people watching, but the conversations are always great. And I love when everybody participates and gives us different ideas and different ways to flow through the conversation. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna get up out of here. Weeb, where can the people find you, sir?
Again, a great show. Even though we have, I think, like 3 or 2.5 topics, still managed to fill 3 hours. As
Yep.
usual, we really talk too much about games.
How dare we? How dare we play them and talk
How
about
dare
them?
we? Yes, how dare we? How dare we actually play games and talk about it? You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky as the Dweeb Sheriff at Infinite Rhizome, and of course, Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Otter Nation. Morgan, where can the people find you, ma'am?
Oh yeah, you can find me on Twitter and PSN because I gotta get some of these games, especially now that there's so much time now. And I just figured out that Karen got delayed. How did I not know that? Karen got delayed to 2026, bruh.
Oh, okay.
What is going on?
That's a load off for me because I'm trying
to figure out.
I'm trying
Wait,
to complete
got
some of these
delayed?
games.
Typical Karen.
Yeah, it got
I never heard
delayed,
about
man.
that.
That's what I'm saying. They said that back in September the 30th. So I'm like, so there's a whole month went by and I didn't even know because I was just looking on it. I was just looking at it to make sure. I was like, okay, I think it comes out early because it was supposed to come out November 6th. So it was supposed to come out this week or next week or whatever. So I was like, okay, so I should be seeing something about it, right? And then I see that it's delayed. So so yeah, that's okay. So I guess I have nothing in November. So I guess November will be Morgan backlog month, which is fine because I said I had too many games I have to finish. So that works in my favor.
I mean, you're already completed.
But yeah, you can find me
Platinum Cocoon, and like 2 other games.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So it's all right. I'll get a few platinums.
What Sucker Punch released a new game plus I want to get on it right now.
Yeah, shut up. I might. But yeah, just you can find me at Chill Bandit on Twitter and on PSN while I will be playing some more
Dispatch
games. Yeah, Dispatch. Well, I have to wait until next week for Dispatch, unfortunately, because they like to tease. But yeah, some Dispatch. I will be playing, for hours with Innate and Fox Mamba probably. But yeah, great episode this week, fantastic. Well, not so fantastic when it comes to certain gaming publishers, but we got to talk about some good games. We got to talk about Ghosts, so that's always a good time for me. So yeah, thank you all for coming through, and we'll see you next week with hopefully some more positive news. But yeah, Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Otter Nation. Omar, where can the people find you, sir?
Shout out to everyone that came through. Hit that like button, share the stream out. You can find me at Caravan_Chap on Twitter and Vitamin G podcast every Monday, 8 p.m., 8 to 10 time. Play your game, like legit play your game. And don't be the crazy one and miss out an Inquisition 33. That's all I might say.
Agreed. And I am your host, Innate, or known as the Real Innate on Twitter and Blue Sky. And yeah, it was a fun time. But we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Thank you, everybody, again, who came through. Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.